we missed. I feel like there was something. Anyways.
Case 3, baby!
Alrighty. Okay. So, that's the big
Hang
one.
on, bottles of water. Let's get that off.
Yeah, I'm doing much better. I'm doing much better than last time. So I'll be able to.
We thankfully have our main cast for today, so that too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I wasn't late this time.
Yeah. So like just as a preface, this is I've been told many times the longest case in the series now at this point. So. It's gonna be a long one. I don't know how many sessions this is gonna take, but
We'll have to see if we can get through the entirety of investigations today.
Well, I don't know where good stopping points are going to be, so you guys are gonna have to be kind of my guides on that.
We'll check time. I think we can get through it today, but yeah.
All right. The other thing, as a heads up, since I've been told this is where the big time story starts for this game, so if you had any intention on playing this on your own, you might want to do so now. Kind of deal. So,
yes.
Yeah, we're about to, this point of no return at this point, so, shall we get started? Alright, episode 3, The Return of the Great Departed Soul. 23 chapters, good lord. I'll have to go in and compare that to the other cases, just for comparison's sake.
The grand end of the century Great Exhibition of London. Surely there is not a soul who has failed to hear of it. Wondrous new works of culture and industry from every corner of the globe had converged on Hyde Park, welcoming over 50 million visitors. The last great hurrah of this century. Astonished and delighted people of all nations, and ended on a note of resounding success. But as regards to the terrible catastrophe that occurred during the festivities, very few are aware my friend Mr. Herlock Sholmes had a hand in unraveling the matter. For from the shadows, it was he who earnestly unearthed the facts of the case. And like the centerpiece of the great exhibition, which rose high into the skies of Hyde Park, Sholmes's brilliant deductions, as clear and lofty as the Crystal Tower itself, brought the truth to light.
Alrighty.
We're here at the showground of the Great Exhibition, which is absolutely packed with people. The weather is unusually fine, and we're about to witness a most extraordinary scientific experiment.
Okay, I heard that too. Can I go back to that line? Nah, I can't do it. Because I heard the accent break in the middle of that line.
Absolutely packed with people.
Packing people.
Yo, cheer stubs.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen,
We're watching a show.
electrical power dominate the world. Horse-drawn carts will give way to the motor car. Ships will sprout wings and take to the skies. And today, we showcase even more advanced technology. A glimpse into the future. A world first. A demonstration of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine!
I'm getting a lot of Unwild Future vibes right now. I don't like this.
A man will literally be disassembled by a pulse of high voltage.
Oh, this is definitely Unwild Future right now.
Whereupon his body will be.
Chapter 3 is when they really go. Is when like the Ace Attorney that starts breaking through.
Okay, get it.
That might ask what I mean, man. The technology that they're showing is more advanced than what we currently have right now.
We go in steampunk.
That watch cycle.
Just a few moments from now, this gentleman will in the blink of an
Oh, I can feel the Professor Layton's inspiration on this case.
to arrive an instant later on the Crystal Tower behind you!
You don't want to go to the Crystal Tower, man. It's not fun time. Oh, this will only end well. That poor man is shitting himself right now.
What's that they gave up, man? I hear it more. Yes! 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 Yes!
It's very in character.
Yeah, he's very excited.
Meanwhile, on Briar Road.
No, don't worry about it.
Well, I swear.
Oh no, I have to be British. High-pitched British.
Bruno, are you listening?
Oh, sorry. What was that, Iris?
What's the matter with you? You've been miles away all morning. Did you like what I cooked for breakfast?
No, that's not it at all. What were you talking about again?
Today's paper. It's full of news about the Great Expedition again.
Yes, the Great Expedition. I'd like to go sometime.
You're really not in your usual self today. You seem very down.
Since a few... eh.
Don't you agree, Hurley?
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Did you say something, Iris?
Oh gosh, you're even more down.
Disgrace. When did you arrive, Mr. Naruhodo?
Can I put on the Lambo set right now and feel and experience what it's like to get punched in the face by Mr. Schultz?
Nintendo level shows.
Oh my god, it's like he's actually punching me!
Yo, shows for Smash?
I've been here for about half an hour today. We had breakfast. There's no need to throw hands.
What? What? Why didn't you mention it before?
You might have known I was here, you know, because breakfast.
I was just quite right. You're clearly lacking in them. So much so that I didn't notice your presence.
Thanks.
Of course, I could deduce the reason I could deduce the reason perfectly well with some simple observations.
What?
Go
Show us, what did you do?
Go. See. Well, yes, for example, your tussle here this morning with all its unruly spikes.
It's only 2.
Clearly, it can't be deduced therefore that.
Let me stop you there, Mr. Jones, because I think I can see where this is going. My hair always looks like this. It always has, ever since we met, in fact.
Oh, really? How interesting. It just doesn't look like a haircut as such, I suppose.
Thanks again. It caught my mind recently. That's been 6 months now.
6 months?
Since I was forbidden from working in court. So I've been wondering, how much longer am I going to be banned?
Oh, well, that would explain why you seem rather glum. Don't you agree, Hurley?
Well, that didn't take long.
God damn it.
Did you say something, Iris?
Back to moping. What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes today? He seems even more down in the dumps than me.
I know, and the Great Expedition has opened. You'd think he'd be more excited. Oh, why don't we all go see it together?
Alright, hang on.
Yeah, yeah.
Hang on. I want to! Of course I do! But I can't! Not for the time being.
Why not?
Why not? Why not? Because I am a great detective after all!
Brandon, I wouldn't be surprised if he's on drugs.
So you're embroiled in some tricky case that you can't be distracted from, is that it?
I don't remember hearing that you're working on a case, Hurley.
I suppose I should try to find out what's going on. Flashback! Half a year ago now, took on my defense of a young girl in a trial held at the Old Bailey. What seemed like a simple case of murder that took place in a London pawnbrokery turned out to be one of a much far-reacher plot that involved the British government. During the course of that trial, it was found that I made an unavoidable yet at the same time unforgivable mistake.
You know what? Because it's been a year.
Oh, okay, okay. Yes, my lord!
I will decide upon your fate following the conclusion of this trial.
Of course, my lord!
I literally had no other options.
In the end, I had my right to represent people revoked. I was told to spend my time in research and study, so that's what I've been doing.
You haven't you, Bruno? Reading all those big fat tomes about British law up in your room, and a note about Sholmes' old cases.
Brewing Irish's special blends of tea, fetching my daily bread for me. You've become something of a manservant around here. Set on the silverware next, Master Naruhodo.
Well, I'm thinking I'm gonna ask the powers that be to reconsider. Specifically Lord Strongheart at that British Supreme Court at Whitehall.
Oh right, he's not Vortex anymore.
Yeah.
Lord Strongheart?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Vortex, the fan translation is named Strongheart in this version. So, yeah, just so you guys know.
And my brain still sees as Vortex.
Yeah, I still think Vortex in my head as well.
I do think both names have the same kind of meaning. So
Yeah.
I don't dislike the name Strongheart.
It's
but
just, I like Vortex a little bit more.
Yeah, Vortex is just a cooler name.
Yeah.
It's just like, what's your name? I am Lord
The Vortex!
the delightful Lord Chief Justice? Not my favorite fellow.
He's not mine either, but he's the man I have to talk to. But he's the only one that can grant permission for me to start working in courts again. I came to Britain to become the best lawyer I could. And I can't do that just sitting around here. The whole of London has been swept in this great exhibition, hasn't it?
Most advanced science, the most modern technology, the finest works of art and feats of engineering. Yeah, Roxas, but the difference is, Naruhodo here got banned from court for a more legitimate reason than in Apollo Justice.
Apollo Justice is really fucking dumb for why he gets banned kind of deal. And also very inconsistent with the rest of the series, but... Another time.
For the next 6 months, our capital will be showcasing these things, and the world will be watching.
Do you know what I like to do? I like to look down on one of those lovely balloons.
Look down on... Do you mean those things fly?
Yes, of course. They fly high in the sky. I don't even need wings to do it. All you need is hot air.
But how? How does hot air have anything to do with flying? It makes no sense. I can't understand it at all.
That's true of a lot of new scientific discoveries. Most people can't understand them at first. But in 100 years' time, all these things will just be common knowledge.
I suppose they might be. Though at the same time, they might not...
I'm sorry, Ryu. Are you tired of this conversation?
I'm still waking up. I'm still waking up, alright? Please.
It is morning.
Mind you, some of these signs being demonstrated seem to be very questionable. Sometimes when brought to open experimentation stage yesterday, apparently, there's this huge explosion. Still, I wish I'd seen it though. I love to see how bad some of these scam experiments really are.
Says the innocent 10-year-old girl.
Here, every page of this paper carries some article other about the Great Exhibition. But the brighter things shine, the darker the shadows that are cast behind them. Personally, I find myself drawn to the darkness, to the impenetrable. That is my proper atmosphere.
Throws it at Naruto.
Shadows cast behind? Is that like a metaphorical way of referring to the back page of a paper? But most importantly, are you investigating a particularly tricky case at the moment, Mr. Sholmes?
You could say that, I suppose.
Nothing more to add? That's not like you. What's our deal?
Hey, Mr. Naruto. We must not discuss it here. You never know who might be listening.
You're acting very strangely, Hurley.
What do you mean, Iris?
Well, usually. The more mysterious and complicated the case is, the better Hurley's mood. It's really the case that's bothering you.
Iris, please! You must exercise your new powers of observation deduction on army without invitation. Remember what I always say. Put yourself in the shoes of the individual about whom you're making deductions.
You say that, do you? You, Mr. Sholmes.
Never mind. Once I've had a cup of tea, I must make my way out once to the crime scene.
That was a deep sigh.
Just the slump.
Now examine the paper.
Every article on the front page is about the Great Exhibition. Public experiments demonstrate brand new scientific ideas and cultural exhibits from around the globe. It's also positive and hopeful about the coming century. We must all go see it properly before too long.
Yay!
But they have 6 months.
So many glowing reports about the Great Exhibition and everything that's going on here. Other than that gloomy looking one, that is. Wait, what?
What's the matter, Runo?
Lost cat! It's the lost cat one, obviously. That's what we're talking about. The Reaper attacked. That's Lord Van Zeeks! This must be what Mr. Sholmes was talking about. Does he know
Wait, hang
more?
on, can you actually read this off on this paper?
Oh,
Dang it.
wait, hold on. I think I can read it again. Yeah, because it's the same one. Okay. Fiery...
Oh, stop, here we go.
Fiery ball goes down, set in the blaze. French court hears, glass eye case, Element Gas Company. Oh, nice.
An evening of cultural dancing turned into a blazing ball last week when one of the lady attendees' dresses was accidentally caught on fire. In her panic at the sudden appearance of flames at her feet, the lady madly about the whole no fewer than 3.
Wait, no, continue. This sounds interesting.
Somebody's gotta have a file that has like a higher res version. I'm not sure if you can actually read the rest of that or anything, because the model probably doesn't have texture of it.
Don't worry, I have sources. I can check.
I must know the rest about this girl's dress that went ablaze. It says on the paper that Lord Van Zeeks was attacked. That's terrible.
You know the legend of the legend of the Reaper of the Bailey, of course, don't you? Only too well, in fact.
Yes, Prosecutor Eric Van Zeeks. In case you didn't know him from the 2 times that we already. They say that the Reaper prosecution of a case, there's no salvation for whoever's on the dock.
Burn!
Even the defendant is found not guilty. Once the Reaper has someone in his sights, no way or another, that person's time left on this earth will be short.
And he goes back in the shadows like Dracula.
London's finest rogues always find ways around the law. They'll stop at nothing to secure an acquittal at trial. Falsifying evidence, paying sham witnesses, threatening jurors, bribing judges. But even such devious tactics as these cannot save them from the hands of the Reaper. As you've experienced yourself, haven't you, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes, I've seen the Reaper's retribution at work.
Many of these criminal rogues are reckless and quite unafraid to die. If a leader among their fraternity is seen to have been taken by the Reaper, retaliation like this does occur. Clearly, the capital has a never-ending supply of scoundrels.
So, do you mean Lord Van Zieks has been attacked like this before? This isn't the first time?
He's quite an accomplished combatant, you know. He doesn't take these attacks lying down. Although, it seems that his assailants were armed with guns this time.
Oh my goodness, is he alright then? Is Lord Van Zieks hurt?
My dear fellow, how on earth would I know?
Well, in the article here it says, as of what of Lord Van Zieks in his condition, all will be revealed tomorrow's morning edition?
I see. Well, we shall have to be patient then.
No, I can't wait until tomorrow.
In that case, you shall have to inquire with somebody in the know.
But who? Lord Strongheart, perhaps? Hello.
Well, I must be leaving now.
Yes, understood. See you later, Mr. Sholmes.
Ha! You really are a shameless liar sometimes, my dear fellow.
What?
You seem to put me up by guard and follow me, don't you? Well, you will be wasting your time.
The thought hadn't crossed my mind, but now I'm wondering where you're going.
Oh then, see you later indeed.
Woo!
Adios.
Listen to him, he's still laughing on his way out of the door. What?
Alrighty then, Bruno, let's get going.
Oh, Iris! What are you wearing?
I've got to change to go to the Great Expedition. You're going to take me.
What? But I was just about to go to the Supreme Court.
Oh, well, that sounds fun too. You're going to take me there then too.
Oh boy.
You better, Rudo, you're taking me out today, aren't you?
All right.
Well, I mean, I was just going to. You're taking me out today.
Alright, fine,
Aren't you?
just lower that weapon, would you? Like, I like the dress. I'm not sure how I feel about the little head ornament, like head cap kind of deal. Seems a little big for her.
You like my head cap, don't you?
Of course, and after the Supreme Court, will we go to the Great Expedition, right?
We're going.
So I read up in the concept art they were trying to plan that outgoing outfit since the first game, so that too.
Alright.
The biggest L is that we never got Ryunosuke and Susato's outgoing outfit in 3D.
Oh wait,
Pigeons.
actually, for the when we head to court, then I think should actually be the time that we probably put on the DLC costumes then, at that point, to show those off, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, cause...
Oh, yeah, the DLC costumes, I forgot they were there.
Yeah. It's been about 6 months now since I was last here. But some things never change, like the sense of foreboding I always seem to feel in this place.
La 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 la.
doesn't seem to be bothering Iris at all, though. She's happily reading over there.
Oh, I love this place. I always find so many interesting books here.
Of course, I was forgetting that you've been here before. The time we came here 6 months ago. When Susato-san was given the news that she was to return to Japan.
Susato was too OP. Send her back.
No, she had access to Google. Also, I usually forget who voices who.
It was you,
voice
I remember, that voice.
Oh, okay. I understand you wish to speak with me.
Oh, Lord Strongheart, formerly known as Vortex. I trust you've been keeping well.
Hello there.
This thing has grown on me.
Yeah. Let's see. Since you arrived and requested an audience, it's been 4 hours, 32 minutes, and 26 seconds. I've kept you waiting a while. My apologies.
No, not at all. I like nothing more than standing around staring into space.
Good to know.
Good to know that doesn't appear to be bothering him at all. Mail Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of London. He's the man who allowed me to start practicing as a defense lawyer when I arrived in Britain as a changing student. You need to only savor the air for a moment in his grand office to understand his supreme and neatest status.
He also might be a terror office.
It's the hair.
If he-
It's definitely the
If you
hair.
see the yellow eyes run.
As you will be aware, the Great Exhibition of London is now underway at last. We're extremely busy at the result, policing the grounds, guarding the new technology, dealing with petty crime. And furthermore, as of next month, we shall open the International Forensic Science Symposium.
Oh, I've not heard about that.
Investigating authorities from 40 countries around the globe will be taking part, including from your own land. Forensic science is the future. The world must embrace it.
Oh, well, but, you know, it's very convenient that the cases that need forensic science were done before it's so officially recognized, I see.
Somewhere in the people having the biggest fuck yeah moment.
I believe a lady in the future by Emma has done what is known as a pog. That's very Personally, I find the word revolting myself.
I keep forgetting that she exists, honestly. You know what? Every time I remember, I prefer to go back. As we're the hosting nation, I have much to do. And it is my highest priority. If others must wait for my attention to result, so be it.
Well, it's nice to know where I stand.
So, you wish to consult with me? With me?
Right here, right now.
You wish to have a conversation while I'm really busy? Of course, I can very well imagine what this is about.
Thank you for agreeing with this meeting, my lord. I want to be allowed to start working as a defense lawyer in court again. That's what brought me here today. But actually, there's something else playing in my mind as it happens.
Bruno, just take a deep breath and come out with it.
Are these supposed to be Hank Hills or Obawa?
I actually came here today to ask for your permission.
Now, I come here today to tell you about my new product. As you know, I am no longer the president of the United States. But now, I have become president of something much greater. Propane.
Obama and Hank Hill are just becoming one person now at this point, it seems. 6 months ago, my right to work as a court lawyer was revoked and I was told to spend my time studying. Obviously, I'm very sorry for what happened, but the thing is, It made me understand what it really means to defend someone under the rules of a foreign justice system. And I desperately want to have another go. Please permit me to be in court again!
Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes? Here it comes.
I'm... Wait for it to catch up. Oh, there we go. I'm sure you haven't forgotten your position here, have you? At best, you are a substitute for your compatriot. This was never your intended role.
Well, that's true. The Japanese government actually sent my best friend to study a tour, not me. It should have been Kazuma. He was determined to bring change to our own justice system at home. That was his calling. That tragic accident happened. And he didn't eat the goddamn chicken. I wouldn't be here in his office right now.
The cat had to do it to him.
If only he would have eaten his pretzel pump chicken sandwich, he wouldn't be in
Sophie, I'm just imagining Blackie on his two little legs, just folding his hands. I have to do it to him.
Jason, it was his McNuggets.
My McNuggets. Mr. Sogi was my best friend, you see. That's why I can't leave it unfinished. I have to fulfill his calling for him.
Joker, you have to understand. I had to take out his family, Joker.
I had to do it to him, Joker.
I had to do it to him. He had to die for the greater cause, Joker. He was a threat to him. He was a threat to everybody, Joker. He has to be taken out.
He also liked Ryuji. I had to do it to him.
He was a Ryuji defender. You saw Twitter today, Joker. You saw. I always hated Ryuji, and I was right.
Kazuma, I am so sorry.
I saw the cats. I saw the Morgana in chat. I was like, oh yeah, I had to do it to him. His calling, you say? Has it never occurred to you that perhaps you know nothing of his true calling?
Sorry?
The mission with which that young law student was charged. What do you suppose it really was?
What do you mean? Mission? It's not making any sense.
Never mind. I read all the reports you submitted over the past 6 months. It's good to me that you regret your actions and have been studiously obeying your advised instructions.
Do you mean?
As of this moment, I reinstate your license to practice law here in Great Britain.
Pog! I mean, thank you, sir! Thank you so much!
Thank you!
That's wonderful news, Rudo! PogChamp!
Yo, Pog, let's go! Meanwhile, in the future, Phoenix reading about his ancestor. It was that easy? Yo, he just
Wait, you mean I didn't need to be a pianist for 6 years? Adopt a daughter? I had to do all of that? And go through an entire James Bond, like, collecting evidence and shit? I didn't have to do any of that!
I mean, he just asked for his job back and they said yes? Yo, this is garbage! This is hot garbage! In fact, I believe I have the perfect case to make your comeback. A curious affair.
And get your schedule open, like, trust me. You're gonna come back alright.
Seriously. You better not have anything planned for like a while. This is not me strong-arming you. This is me giving you the heads up. Seriously, you are going to be here for a while. You'll consider it, I hope.
Of course, please tell me more. You described it as a curious affair?
Yes, that's right. I believe it was reported in the press. Are you aware that there was a serious accident at the Great Exhibition yesterday?
Oh, no.
Yes, I read about it. A professor from Germany tried to carry out a crazy experiment. Let me see, how was it described? Super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, I think.
Instantaneous?
Yes, this is the third case.
Kinesis? As in moving things with a click of fingers?
That's right, it's what my harbor blend tea needs, a dash of devil may care.
Whatever the serious incident was actually, it's clearly captured Iris's imagination.
So, Roxas, I can tell you with confidence that no, this case does not suffer from third case syndrome.
We don't do that here.
Yeah, no. Plus, that's also third case syndrome is like really only a thing in Danganronpa. It doesn't really come up in Ace Attorney that much, honestly. So, yeah.
Your Phantom stuck into Ace Attorney too much.
It's an unfortunate business. A large explosion engulfed the public experimentation stage, and a man lost his life. A certain Mr.
Odie Osmond? Odie Osmond.
Odious man.
Oh.
I was trying to figure out the pun on that name. That's why it took me a minute to read it. I was like, O.D. Osmond. Alright, the pun is probably lost to me. Anyway, a certain Mr. Odie Osmond, an investor and a well-known figure in society.
A large explosion?
A man died. Aw.
The man responsible for the experiment was Professor Albert Harebrun.
Harebrain.
Harebrain. What? No, go back. Hang on. No, wait. Go to the history. Dang it.
Got him. Got him.
He was detained immediately after the incident. It is due to appear in court tomorrow. On the charge of murder.
What? Murder?
If you intend to take on his defense, you should hurry to meet with him at the prison. There is very little time left for you to carry out any kind of investigation.
Great exhibition, scientific experiment gone wrong, and murder? Felt my death before I've even started, but still.
We should go to the prison straight away then, and try to meet with this German professor. Don't you think?
Definitely.
Yes. Yes. One more thing about the case. There's a connection with our mutual acquaintance, the Reaper, your favorite person in the whole world.
How?
All sorts of conferences have been taking place around the world to coincide with the Great Exhibition. And next month, the largest and most important of them will take place at last. The International Forensic Science Symposium.
It does seem as though criminal investigation needs to embrace scientific method, doesn't it?
Exactly!
Ah!
London, the global epicenter of culture, science, and wealth, now has a population exceeding 6 million. Well, not for long. Unfortunately, America's a thing, and will take that title and also ruin it.
Yep.
Sadly, crime in the capital is growing at a similarly startling rate. So it's imperative that we use the latest scientific method to investigate and resolve cases as efficiently as possible.
Excuse me, I was in the middle of drinking right there, which is what's known as the forensic science, isn't it?
Exactly! The future of policing! Regrettably, however, Britain is certainly dragging its feet when it comes to the adoption of forensic methods.
Oh dear, that's alarming.
But you're the epicenter of the world. Not really. Exactly. It's extremely alarming.
Ah!
If I were Her Majesty's Attorney General, you can be sure the numbers of crimes committed and resolved in London would be very different to the current figures. And I can cite 12 solid arguments and 223 individual reasons to support my claim.
Sorry?
By way of apology for keeping you waiting earlier, I shall detail every one now.
What?
Oh, how fascinating.
It all began 15 years ago. I was on Reddit one day, and I just stumbled across the r/Ace Attorney subreddit, and I can't believe what I found it there. Seriously, people.
There he goes.
And that is why Apollo Justice is in fact the smartest Ace Attorney game written in the franchise, and that more or less sums up my feelings on the matter, in the simplest of terms, of course.
Yeah, so, thank you all for watching.
Game over!
Essentially, to formally establish a forensic investigation division within Scotland Yard. That is my mission.
Oh, right, yes, that's, wonderful.
Exactly. Wonderful. It's precisely what it was.
Iris isn't paying attention at all. This guy knows in another book now.
La 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 la.
That is boring.
Oh, is it over? Did you learn anything useful?
Yeah,
He
I
actually
learned.
drifted off for the most part. He's surprisingly adherent about forensic science.
Yeah, they learned to stay away from r/Ace Attorney on subreddit on the Reddit.
Yeah. You can still talk to him.
Oh, what?
You have a newspaper, right?
Oh yeah, because he asked about the Reaper.
Wait, wait, fuck. Does that start up a new conversation about that, or?
No,
I
you
think
gotta
you're just
present the
repeating.
paper. I
Okay.
think you gotta present the paper to him.
Okay. It looked like new dialogue, so I was really worried on that. I was like, wait, what?
I think the game does a good job telling you when you're ready. You can move on. So
Yeah. Alright. Oh, that reminds me. Have you seen this?
The reports of the overwhelming success of the great exhibition. Of course.
No, not that. The story on the back of the page, the one about the lost cat.
Oh, you mean the one about the burning woman with the dress? No, not that! What story? What story? The Reaper attacked. Ah, that. You enjoy some victories in court against my number one prosecutor, have you not?
Poor Mr. Reba. What happened to him? He wasn't killed, was he?
There's no need for concern. Lord Van Zeek would not be so easily dispatched, I assure you.
Can you tell us what happened then? I'd really love to know.
Very well, if it interests you.
It does, strangely.
Fortunately, Lord Van Zeek emerged for the attack unscathed. They always seem to forget that his down B is a counter. Street ruffians are no match for that man. He's a very capable fighter. His offstage combos are amazing.
But that's incredible. They were armed with guns. Why was he attacked though? Do we know?
It's relevant to events that occurred a month ago. he hasn't get it up till.
I mean, we already know that. He does it to the bench all the time.
Can I get a mod of that?
You don't need a mod, it exists! It exists in this game.
No, but I want a mod of a Lord Van Zeek over Ganon, and I just want to see Lord Van Zeek charge up his foot.
It would fit very well.
For this task. A leader of one of the capitals. Let me redo. Let's try that again. A leader of one of the capital's criminal organizations was indicted and prosecuted by Van Zeeks. But the man was acquitted. I had no doubt large sums of money were involved behind the scenes.
Large sums of money?
A deplorable situation. Members of the jury were bribed, it seems. However, despite winning his freedom, the man in question met a dramatic end yesterday.
But you're not suggesting that was the work of the Reaper, surely?
The victim's henchmen certainly seemed to think so. He was a man by the name of Asman, Mr. Odie Asman.
Did you just say Asman?
Assman. That's the man who died in the big explosion of the Great Expedition.
Please stop the shoulder buttons, my god.
Yes, known publicly as an investor, but in reality, the head of a significant criminal organization.
Unbelievable. I wonder, could I ask you something, Lord Strongheart?
Try me.
Why do you use Lord Van Zeeks as a prosecutor? All the criminals who manage to get off of court then meet a mysterious ends outside the courtroom. And fearful of that fate, they seek to strike at Lord Van Zeeks first. I know there's no evidence that he actually is the Reaper in that sense, but still, something clearly is going on here.
I have Van Zeek's work for the prosecution service for two reasons. Firstly, the man is the best prosecutor in the capital, bar none. And secondly, any deaths of criminals that have occurred outside the courtroom following his trials are nothing to do with him.
But that doesn't make sense! How can you explain the way so many people have died, if not by someone's hand?
Ryunosuke, only 3 people have died.
Ever.
You act like the man is responsible for 100 deaths. Get over it.
Jesus.
You have to get over it, Ryunosuke. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about your opinions. Stop posting them on Twitter. Nobody reads them. We scroll past them the same way everyone else does on the Twitter timeline. Van Zeeks may have irked himself the moniker of the Reaper, but he is no killer. So he will continue to prosecute on behalf of the Crown. Unless he wishes otherwise, of course. Well, I must be leaving for my next engagement. I'm already 11 hours and 16 minutes late. My colleagues may be starting to fidget.
11 hours late? That's, quite something.
That meeting had already started when I arrived back here for this engagement with you. So lateness was inevitable. Time stops for no man.
I'm sure it stopped for me during those 12 solid arguments and 223 reasons. Oh yes, where do I find Lord Van Zeeks now?
I would assume he's at his office.
Right, I'll go and ask him about the attack in person. I want to get straight to the horse's mouth.
Oh, away with you now. I'm leaving Professor Hairbrain's defense entirely in your hand.
Of course,
Okay.
Thank you very much, my lord.
And tell him one more thing. What? His last name is stupid.
That face.
Okay, well, you want to go for a field trip, Iris?
Let's go to Van Zeeks! Yay!
Yay! Oh my god, that painting of him! I want to see the full thing of that right now.
Oh, so this is the legendary Reaper's office.
Yes, it appears so.
It sends chills down your spine, doesn't it? What an amazing deadly atmosphere.
Oh, is that? That hooded figure was so still. I hadn't noticed her presence. I wonder who it is. Who should voice this one? Like, what kind of voice are they supposed to have?
I think right now this is Van Zeeks talking.
Okay. What are you doing here? Ah!
In front view, baby.
Finally, we get to meet him outside of court. So unwelcoming as I thought he'd be. Actually, maybe even more so. Oh, I'm glad to see you're well. I am.
So wait, to answer your question, Patrick, the hooded figure, you take him.
Okay. So, who's the person over by the wall being punished for you or something? No punishment is taking place here. Oh. That's my apprentice. He's still waiting there. He's sitting there of his free will. I didn't know you had an apprentice.
He's the Robin to my Batman.
Must be the same person that was pictured on the newspaper.
I was watching Teen Titans Go, and I figured I can make Robin much better.
He is very able in combat, a requisite skill for anyone under my tutelage. Are you referring to the attack on the Reaper that was reported in the papers? The Reaper. I'd be interested to know the Reaper's true identity myself. Assuming, that is, such a fabled fiend gradually inhabits our great courtrooms. Okay, first, I have to, I gotta.
Oh my god.
I have to. That portrait really does dominate the room, doesn't it? It's a very majestic outfit and pose, but sadly, whoever painted it doesn't do a very good job of capturing Lord Van Zeek's facial features.
Yes, you're right. I mean, it's not far off, but the artist had an exaggeration of his subject's handsomeness, I think.
That reminds me. I heard Emperor Napoleon of France ordered artists to make him look more attractive when they painted him.
How vain. That's really not an attractive quality in the person, is it?
That portrait does not depict a me. Surely that's immediately obvious. Oh, then who is it?
Now let's go roast this man's room.
Oh, look! It's a scaled model of the Great Expedition Showgrounds.
That's amazing. I wonder why it's here.
Perhaps it made it to take his mind off the sadness of being too busy to attend in person.
Well, maybe he's
Maybe
too
he just
embarrassed
likes
to
Lego.
queue up for the ticket. Surely it's obvious that I'm using it as an investigation aid. You Nipponese have no business painting others in overly reversed. I feel like he really didn't overhear that.
Let's go to the left.
Alright.
Look at it.
Look at what?
The bottles.
Okay, alright. Look at that fine collection of hollow chalices and bottles neatly lined up there.
And you just throw out the audience whenever he feels like
My
it.
hollow bottles are filled with the essence of the finest grapes from the finest vineyards I visit. And I personally oversee these chalices being made by the finest crystal craftsmen in the world.
And yet you throw them around in court like they were worthless.
Yes, because this imbecile is so unimaginably and repeatably wide of the mark sometimes. Before you open your mouth next time, you should consider the poor artisans whose work you defile. So, that's my fault? Silly me, how could I ever thought otherwise?
This man candidly drinks grape juice.
Lord Van Seek's desk, look, it's so stylish.
And that's a marble chess set here beside it.
Chess? That's a Western version of our Japanese shogi game, isn't it? No, I'm actually quite good at shogi problems.
Oh, really? You'll probably like chess problems in that case.
I'd love to challenge Lord Van Seek sometime. To a bout of shogi problems.
If you really want to challenge yourself, you can always do that on your own at home.
Let's see, what else can we examine over? Okay, that's our...
I think we're other side of the room then.
Yeah, let's see, okay, anything over here? Okay, these, look at those ancient casts lining up on the wall there.
Casts in the Reaper's chambers? Are they caskets?
You don't think all those people who escaped the conviction in the court are lying inside them dead, do you? I love the slow iris coming up. What a ridiculous notions are going through your head, man! This is my collection of fine vintages! Oh, of course. Thank you for clearing that up.
Rita and I were just musing to ourselves. Don't mind us, Mr. Reaper.
I wouldn't if I hadn't invited you. Didn't invite yourselves to my office to talk nonsense within my earshot.
You come into my office, started roasting my stuff.
Ah! Ah! There were bats!
Yes, the Reaper's familiars, I expect.
But what about the mute man in the dark clothes? I thought he was familiar. Just not the flying kind.
You must be a dear friend of Mr. Reaper, then.
I think the familiar idea is more likely. Scary, though, either way. Alright, let's go talk to this person.
Hello, sir.
It really looks like a punishment to me.
I've never seen someone sing like that before.
He hasn't moved a muscle since we arrived. You think perhaps he's dead?
If he was dead, Bruno, he wouldn't be saying that, would he?
Well, anyway, dead or alive, he's not overly approachable, is he? I don't think he's gonna talk to us.
He's not dead!
Alright.
Let Robin study in peace or whatever.
Lord Strongheart said the assault last night was some kind of revenge attack? True. Carried out by the henchmen of the Odi Osman criminal organization. The investigation meant the arrests were imminent. Presumably hoped to kill me before that happened. Odi Osman? He's always masqueraded as London's most powerful financiers, a global investor. But his enormous wealth came to him by underhand means via his criminal activities.
And he used that money to buy himself a verdict and not guilty when he found himself in court, didn't he?
That was a bad line, Reen, I'm sorry.
Being prosecuted by you, Mr. Reaper.
But the man got his comeuppance in the end. Yesterday, in fact, in extraordinary circumstances. It was the most unusual cause of death. I know about that. It was a super high voltage instantaneous kinesis gone wrong. Mr. Osmond died when the demonstration on the public experimentation stage ended in an enormous explosion. Correct. And you think I have some kind of fine ability to cause an accident like that to happen, do you? Well, no, that does seem a little far-fetched. This man really is a fabled Reaper, then he has to be innocent of this particular death at least.
It's strange how this all worked out,
Gentlemen,
isn't it, Bruno?
It is time. Chapter 2 is now available to the public.
Jason, get your ass back here right now!
Can wait an hour.
I'm just downloading it in the background.
You can download it, but you can't hit the play button right now.
I just want people to know that Chapter 2 is now available.
I mean, with what you're taking on the professor's defense for the trial tomorrow.
What? You're going to be defending him? Oh,
Nice.
yes, that's right. Though I barely know the man's name yet, to be honest. Albert Hairbrain. Hairbrain? Okay, I'm trying to figure out the pun.
Hairbrain.
Hairbrain.
Oh.
No. So Sophie said it earlier. That's why I went there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's Hairbrain.
That's right. Do you know him by any chance? Of course. He's a contemporary of mine. We were at university together. You're...
What?
I understood that Professor Hairbrain was from Germany, though. Hairbrain is from a respectable British family. After graduating the University of London, he moved to Germany to carry out his research. That's all. So you were students together. I was in the faculty of law, of course, and he in science, so our paths rarely crossed. But curiously, we got along, though I have not met him since my university days. I certainly didn't expect our next encounter to take place in this form. And with you, of all people, representing him. Ugh. Only I make out of the office alive. He's actually been charged with murder, it seems. Yes, I know, because the prosecution will be handled by me. By you? But you made it sound as if you and the professor have been friends. We are friends, it's true. But then why would you do this?
If the Reaper is the prosecutor, there's nothing anyone can do to save him. He's doomed!
What's Lord Van Sieg's thinking? What do you mean by what you said before? If you'd like to know the Reaper's true identity, does that mean... I'm a crown prosecutor and a mortal like any other. I'm no demigod.
But they all died, haven't they? The people you prosecuted, I mean. Whenever or not the trial ended in a conviction of an acquittal.
Those I prosecute are the vilest wretches of our society. People without question deserve to be found guilty. The world is a better place without them. But that's not true for Mr. Natsumi, for example. He wasn't a vile wretch at all.
Nor was Jeannie, in fact. She ever was so hardworking now.
I can't deny that since I encountered you, things have taken a turn, but the point is this. If any of those vile wretches that escaped justice subsequently die in mysterious circumstances, it was not the hand of their own kind. It is not my work. What stronger?
Yeah, Jojo, yeah, Germany as a country was a thing around this time.
Oh yeah. Like most Eastern countries were established by this point. So yeah.
No, because I know that at one point Germany, before it was Germany, it was two separate countries. But by this point in history, it was one country. It was one country.
Yeah, because this is a little after World War I, right? So yeah. Lord.
Because this is in the early 1900s.
Yeah. Lord Strongheart said the same. He believes you're not involved in any way.
You were attacked by those ruffians because they believe it's true.
The fact is, since people started to call me the Reaper of the Bailey, the number of serious crimes in the capital has dropped substantially. Oh? It would appear that even the most hardened criminals can make fearful in their eyes. Do you mean to say... I mean to say that my persundum serves as a useful purpose. I adopt it gladly and with honor. But that's putting you in danger! You could get killed! If that is my fate, let God decide. Fancies?
Ace, Ace, I didn't even think about that.
Oh, badge.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I know you've seen this around my arm before, but what is it exactly? It's the mark of the defense lawyer, in Japan at least. And what's your reasoning for showing it to a British prosecutor? Oh, well, I don't know, really. I can understand, at least. There's merit in reminding yourself of those who helped you become what you are today. Oh! But that's a personal matter, something you may want to keep close at all times, not something to flaunt. No, I suppose not. Thank you for your understanding, though.
What?
Nice.
Nice.
Lord Van Zeeks, about the article in this paper. Ah, yes, it appears there was a reporter nearby when the little skirmish took place. I had no idea I'd been photographed. It was careless of me. Also, look at that bitchin' hat on my ad. The reporter's name. Yes.
It looks as though it was taken after the people who attacked you has run away, though.
Rest assured, the police have already apprehended every last one of them. But there's someone else fighting beside you, it seems.
God damn it. That
Oh,
name
what?
is ruined for every last one of them.
Yes, they got every last one of them. And I think that's the same man who's sitting over there as we speak, isn't it? As I mentioned already, he's my apprentice. Perhaps you could tell me a little bit more about him?
Why do you want to know about my Robin?
He's my tutelage to become a prosecutor. So you could say he's my apprentice, I suppose.
Ah, it's like you are too Hurley than Runo.
I don't remember taking an apprenticeship with the Great Detective. He's currently compiling a report about last night's attack. Looks as though he's wearing some kind of mask. On Lord Strongheart's orders. Nobody knows the man's face, or indeed his identity. But how could you agree to take on such a clearly suspicious individual? Lord Strongheart's orders again. He's not one for meaningless follies. There's certainly a good reason for his actions. I hope you're right. Okay, what kind of voice should I give this guy? Do you guys think? For him. Like...
What did I?
I would just go with a mysterious voice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ah! The task is complete? Good. In that case, you can collect all the briefs. Oh, no, I would not go for a shadow at all. No. Nice to meet you. Back to work again.
Fantastic voice acting, Patrick. Your best material yet.
That was a really strange sound. Never met that man before. I didn't even know he existed, and yet somehow it didn't feel like our first encounter. Don't bother trying to converse with him. Says he's nothing to anybody from outside this office. Lord Strongheart is strictly forbidden it. Oh, I see. Why are you so interested in my apprentice anyway? No, I mean... Sorry, I didn't mean to. The way he stood there so casually and yet with a flawless posture. It couldn't be. Ah, yes, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. What's that? That Nipponese man, is he faring well? Sorry? The one arrested twice in succession of 6 months ago, with the stoop, and the mustache, and the jitters. Mr. Natsume, you mean?
I'm not sure he'd be very pleased to find out you identify him from that list, Runo.
It's fine, thank you. In fact, I received a letter from him by international post only the other day. I see. Well, I think I can end our discussion there, don't you? There's little time left before tomorrow's trial. I advise you spend it investigating the case. Yes, thank you for the advice, and for the conversation. I can't believe he's asking for son after a Nipponese? Not sure whether to feel happy about that or worried.
I never imagined that Mr. Reaper would be friends with a mad scientist, did you? That's a turn up for the books.
A mad scientist? You mean Professor Harebay? Yes, it might be worth quizzing the professor about this relationship with Antiques, I think.
Oh, wait, hang on. So it turns out the Sonic 30th Anniversary Symphony album is now available on iTunes.
Oh, it's an actual album now? Nice.
Yeah, it should be running on other services soon.
Yeah.
Nah, he's just vibing.
I've been just listening to the tracks via YouTube and stuff like that. Okay, I do want to get another look at, if I can at least look at this one again. 'Cause I want to get...
Yeah. I think he's added to your court records now.
Okay. Because I want to see if I can get a good look at his face. Oh, I don't have profiles on here. Shit.
I think you can switch.
What? Court
No,
record.
to your court records.
People. Okay, there we go. Try to look at the face structure.
Upon closer inspection, that is indeed a person.
If it's a Hail Mary and it's like Asogi's not actually dead or some shit kind of deal. Because I see the face, it might be. Might be. I don't know. Maybe. Anyway, let's go to the prison.
Prison.
Hey, Jason, if you want to take this guy, probably, I would assume, or did you want me to do this one?
Oh no, I got it.
Okay.
I just got to figure. I just got.
No.
The warden said cell 11. That's this one.
Oh, there's someone curled up in the ball in the back corner. Look.
What's his name again? Professor Albert Hairbrain, was it? Excuse me, Professor Hairbrain?
No, stop it.
Stop.
Stop. No.
I kind of like that.
Who are you?
I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm the defense lawyer.
A lawyer?
Was it something I said?
A lawyer, you say? Would you be here about the experiment? Are you going to defend my? Are you going to defend my hypothesis?
Your hypothesis? Sorry, I don't.
Yesterday's demonstration. That demonstration was the magnificent demonstration was. It was an out-and-out success by anyone's calculations. But despite that, no one listens. No lawyer believes in science. When it's explained, they all leave. High velocity.
Now's probably not a good time to mention that your real seal made it my concentration leave it alive too. Yeah.
This guy. I'm waiting for a certain information.
You mentioned the demonstration yesterday.
The papers have called it a spectacular failure. After all, a man died in the explosion, didn't he?
Yes, you could have interpreted the result that way if you really wanted to. Well, I suppose in the stricter sense, the experiment was a failure, but at the same time, it was a great success.
You've lost me.
I swear by my own eyes, right there in front of me, Mr. Aspen was spontaneously disassembled.
BRB.
Alright.
Until then, everything was going exactly as my calculation had predicted. At that point, he should have been beamed to the Crystal Tower by instantaneous kinesis. However, the machine exploded and Mr. Aspen in fact perished. Yes, I can't deny that part of the experiment was a failure.
So what you're really saying is the large explosion that killed Mr. Aspen was an accident, correct? But by the biggest bigwigs, you have arrested on a suspicious murder.
I was responsible for a man's death, is the immutable truth here. And for that, I wish to be punished at once. But murder? Never in a million years! It was an accident! Simply an accident!
I see.
Harley and I were talking this morning, you know. He said the situation would change completely depending on whether it was treated as an accident or murder.
How exactly?
Well, if it really was an accident, the professor's machine would be kept in protective custody.
On what grounds?
Ah, yes. It's newly established here, Britain. The special dispension for Scientific Equipment Act.
That one passed by me.
If that case is treated as murder, then they'll
They'll say my machine was the murder weapon, and they'll be able to pour over that much if they like. If they examine it in detail, they'll find out how it's made, and then they'll be able to copy my idea! My precious hypothesis will be stolen! The machine must be protected from that at all costs! That's why it's imperative this whole incident is shown to have been an accident in tomorrow's trial!
I see now. So, in short, there was a terrible accident at the Great Exhibition Showground yesterday.
Yes! Or rather, no. The devil is in the detail. Strictly speaking, there was a terrible explosion.
Sounds the same to me.
If you were dumping super high voltage in today's Canitas, were you? How fascinating.
Humans, like our matter, are made up of particles that are held together by electrical bonds. So it must be possible, using a sufficiently high voltage to break those bonds and beam the particles through space. That's it in a nutshell. That's my idea, you see? That's my amazing hypothesis.
Okay, the glove kind of makes it look like Iris's mouth is really big, like for a split second kind of deal when I looked over. It looked like she had a pog face, okay? There you go. Gosh, that's unimaginably high-level science.
Oh, but dare to imagine it! Dare to dream of such incredible technology!
Can somebody just put the Doc Ock arms on him for this one and it will fit perfectly?
Just think! One moment I could be here in the cell, and the next I could be at the Great Exhibition again!
Well, yes, that would be incredible.
And the next, in the mere blink of an eye, I could be at the Great Paris Theater, say! The possibilities are endless! The whole of our vast planet would be within reach!
So no more hiding in wardrobes on rocky seas for 50 days?
I don't really see it like that.
What do you mean, Iris?
Well, if you could travel anywhere in the world instantly, the planet wouldn't be really seen as vast anymore, would it? I feel as though it would have shrunk.
My word, that's exactly right! What are the implications? What does this mean?
Oops, that got Professor Bunnybrain really worried on that look of it.
Clearly, this is yet another case of just because you can doesn't mean you should, I suppose.
The point is, my calculations are flawless. The science works. But without a practical demonstration, it means nothing. And that's always the fly in the ointment.
Because
Alright. Let it out.
What do you want, child?
It's like this is the one guy like screaming, crying, and then the like the chatted bitch on the right kind of deal, like sort of deal.
Are you mocking me? Why? Why are you mocking? What are you thinking, child? Speak! Don't just stand there! Speak to me!
This looks like a clone high
I like your funny words, Magic Man! How many scoops? 2, please?
Because practical demonstrations cost a lot of money. Money that young scientists like you don't have. Get owned.
Ah, yes. I heard something that starts with an S, ends with an S, and have Uts inside. A lot of me! That's exactly it, yes! Oh no, what have you done?
How many
What have you done? No, what have you done?
Look at this mad scientist.
What has she done? What has she done?
No, Jojo. What Jojo's done.
Oh, okay, alright.
Oh. No, my line!
Anyway,
Hold on. Okay. There we go.
Harley's always complaining about it. He said the government should invest more in science.
Our department be like.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I bumped into him at the right times. I met the well-known investor, Mr. Eisman.
The victim who died yesterday in terrible accident, you mean?
Da, da, da.
I understand Lord Van Seeks is a friend of yours from your university days.
Yes, that's right. He was studying law while I was studying science.
No!
No!
What was he like back then?
A good question. Unassuming, legitimately, an all-around nice fellow, really.
Oh my god.
Sorry, I think you misheard me. I'm talking about the cold-hearted, merciless prosecutor, Barak Von Zieks. What was he like at university?
Talk about a leading question, Runo.
As I said, an unassuming, extremely pleasant gentleman. He was the nicest guy I've ever met. Seriously, if he saw a cat by the side of the road, he will pick it up, nurse it back to health, and then find it a nice foster home. After all, he is a little darling of the Von Zeke family, with all his great, all of his great aristocratic origin.
What? This is a joke I'm not getting at this point.
I ever see any, nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys. Have you seen any clip from Clone High?
No, no, I have not.
Oh.
I didn't realize he has such a noble blood. Why did you serve that plot point in the most ridiculous voice ever?
Little darling?
It was a bit of a shock when I came back to Britain and learned what he'd done. We become the Reaper of the Bailey, no less.
Yes, that's right.
I did hear, though, that there was a very big event in his life that completely changed him at the graduation.
That's you.
Oh, really? What sort of event? Iris animation happened, so I thought it was her.
Sophia, I'm trying to cut it off in my brain. I'm trying to cut it off.
Let me go and fix your brain for you.
I'm sorry, but I don't know anymore.
Wasn't the Oh, sorry.
But I wasn't in the country at the time. I was in Germany already.
Oh.
Oh, sweet, I fixed him.
Yes, of course. He's heard all about the Reaper. I really don't have the heart to tell him Lord Van Seeks will be the prosecutor in court tomorrow. The full name of the man who died yesterday's incident was Mr. O.D. Asman, wasn't it? What exactly is your relationship to the man?
He first visited me in my laboratory in Germany a year ago now. He said he wanted to invent my immaculate hypothesis. I think my lucky stars.
I see, so you shouldn't have known each other then.
Money for scientific research. I'm so envious.
As far as I was concerned, the man was an angel.
Oh, really?
An archangel even. He was prepared to fund a practical demonstration of my hypothesis for presentation in the Great Exhibition.
Oh no, his glasses are even fogged out more. Even more the Doc Ock thing would work now at this point.
when the HD sprites get revealed, it's gonna be.
Once those models get available, all hell's breaking loose.
I technically do have those models. I just need to import into Maya.
If that went well, I could expect additional financial support for my research from the British government. Mr. Aspen provided me with money and an exceptional engineer. He produced a machine to my precise specifications.
But then, your dreams were blown to dust in one enormous explosion.
As you can see, I owed everything to Mr. Asman. I would never, ever have thought of taking the man's life.
Well, he seems to be genuine enough. I don't think he's lying. So, Professor, let me just make absolutely sure I've understood you properly. The huge explosion that occurred yesterday, that was an accident, you're saying. You had no intent to hurt the victim, who was in fact the sole investor of your work. Is that correct?
That's 2 squared. 2 squared is 4. 2 squared is 4. I swear it. Yes, it's true that the man perished in a machine of my invention. So I know that I'm far from blameless in all this, but still, I would never use my discoveries, my inventions, and take a person's life, not in a centillion years. I'm a man of science, it's all I know. You have to believe me, please.
Get the frying pan!
Do you believe me? Do you believe in my hypothesis? Science is the pursuit of truth, you know. I've always believed that all my life.
I'm afraid I don't know much about science, or your theories. But I do believe in you, and I'll fight to prove your innocence with all my might. I'm a man of law, that's all I know. You have to believe me, please!
When I went to live in Germany, I they were fighting. They were fighting in my brain. I learned something very important. Nationally, class lineage. Not nationality, class, lineage, none of that matters. As long as you try your hardest, you can achieve anything.
Thank you for that, Professor.
And thank you in advance for defending me tomorrow in court.
All right, Funo. It's time. Time to visit the Great Exposition.
Sorry?
Well, that's where the incident happened, isn't it?
Yes,
Who
I
is
suppose
talking
that's
outside?
true.
That would be me.
What the fuck is going on?
Wait, what?
Thank you.
What, like a dog?
Thank you,
It's like a
Night
dog
Ladies.
outside, or
No,
what?
someone's been honking their car horn for like 5 minutes straight.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a college town, so, you know, one of its I don't know.
Oh, it's 8:32.
Yeah.
Oh no, Brandon, my midlife crisis was when the first trailer for the Sonic Sonic movie got released. That was my midlife crisis.
The showgrounds are a little big for my liking. I've been walking around in dense crowds for 2 hours now, and I felt like myself swooning 3 times.
There's a lot of people, aren't there? I was been throttled 3 times too.
Be careful, won't you, Iris? Don't let go of my hand. Well, we finally made it through through by the look of it. Here we are underneath the public experimentation stage where the explosion happened yesterday. What's that? I can hear voices from on top of the stage. Sounds like an argument. Hey!
Hey, what are you buying? You wanna buy this? Seriously, I'll sell it to you for I'll sell it to you for £5. I need the money right now, please.
I don't have a job
How about I
anymore.
take the money?
I seriously. Gina, why don't you say anything? Don't you want it? Don't you want to buy it? It's just fish and chips. It's simply fish and chips, darling. Seriously, I know you like it as much as I do. You're a Brit after all. I'm not giving you tea. I'm not giving you tea in return, though. This is all you're getting.
Get your unfortunate object out of my face.
Not until you buy it.
Oh yeah, go on, Inspector. Give it a shot. You ain't got no evidence as you know it.
Wait, I know those voices.
You got a cheeky little mouth on you, young lady. But a knight in the cells would teach you some manners.
Oh, just try it, I dare ya. You want those bagel trips down your throat? Yo! Gregsy, what you doing up there?
You! Here you are! Your ladyship! How are you, your ladyship? I do hope you're well, your ladyship.
Does that make her 3 times a lady?
I'm not well at all. I'm far too busy everywhere. I wanted to ride the balloon, but there's 3-hour quiz.
Cute.
Queef? Queef? There's a 3-hour queef. I think you want to retry that. Forgive me, your ladyship, but I think you want to have a redo of that line. Go into the history. Do it. I think. All right. Take 2.
I want to ride a balloon, but there's a 3-hour queue.
Yay!
Unbelievable! I'll go have a word for you at once, your ladyship. You'll be flying at times and kite in no time. What's that postal strength for you?
Tobias Gregson, inspector from Scotland Yard, and we spent the entire last case with him, but until recently he was suspended from duty, but it would seem he's back in action now. He's actually quite well known, appearing that he does in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. And for that reason, he can't say a word wrong to the story's author, Iris. But there are limits, surely, or there should be.
Watch this, sunshine.
Sorry.
What gives them? Don't tell me you're on this case.
Yes, I'm acting for the defense.
So we're here to investigate.
Dear me, that's the situation, is it?
Is it really that troubling?
A measly 5 bobs, is that all you got? You're a lawyer, ain't ya? You could stand to carry a bit more copper around your pockets, Mr. Nara-Odo.
I'm happy to see Gina again after case 5 last time, so...
Also, look at her design.
She is rocking that coat, man!
That waistcoat.
It looks really good on her. It looks really good. Hey, that's the last bit of my spending money, that is!
You can have it back, but I have to charge it for all the bothersome. 3 bob.
This is Gina Lestrade, a pickpocket, or driver, born and bred in the East End of London. In the case that led me to my own suspension 6 months ago, this young girl I was defending in court.
Oh, what's your problem, Odie? Driver, pickpocket, what do you want with those name callings? You want a big old trap bag of chips ran down your throat, do ya?
I thought you were proud to be a driver, Gina. You were just arguing with Inspector Gregson about it, weren't you? I assumed you'd been up to your usual tricks here on the showground.
That ain't no way to talk to a lady, Odie. Half a year is a long time. People can change. I'm an apprentice now, learning from Scotland Yard detective.
Hey!
You have to call it whatever you want, does. It's Inspector Lestrade now.
Oh, yes!
I got the Emma Sky treatment, eh?
Inspector? That badge is homemade, surely!
The inspector part isn't entirely accurate. No one calls her that. For what it's worth, anyway. Investigator is off the cards for all of us.
What's that supposed to mean?
Right. Well, I'll be back up top. You hold the fort down here, all right?
Right, sir.
And when I come back, I'll buy some fish and chips.
This...
No, I'm not. I'm poor.
This raises
You
a
just
lot
stole-
of questions.
You just stole from this Japanese man. Do it again. That won't work.
It was 8 months ago that I first encountered Gina, in the connection of the case I was working on. At the time, she was living in the East End with a group of other orphans. She helped all of them survive by pickpocketing, and then she got embroiled in a murder.
I had a lot of my time to think about in prison. I realized I couldn't go on like I was. The dive-ins weren't working out.
Oh, I'm so pleased to hear it, Jeannie. Well done.
So, you went from being a pickpocket to a detective?
You got it. Good, ain't it? Inspector Lestrade. Sounds like something out of a book, eh?
Talk about a sea change.
And then there's Iris's old man to think about.
Iris' father, you mean?
Yeah, I promised her, didn't I? I said I'd get all the police force around the world and pull all the stops looking for him.
Just a small promise then, nothing serious.
Oh, Jeannie, you're so sweet.
So anyway, that's how come I got a test for Scotland Yard. Only trouble is, I don't read so well, do I?
Just a small problem, nothing serious.
And that's when Hurley approached Grexy and asked for help. And so the inspector said he'll take full responsibility for Jeannie and make her a sort of apprentice.
That's a very monogenous of Inspector Gregson, and brave.
Well, you know Hurley. He enjoys finding ways to make people do what he wants.
The great detective likes digging for dirt, in other words.
So, the long and short of it, if you got questions about the case, you can take it to Inspector Lestrade.
Right then, Inspector. Actually, there's still a big mystery surrounding Gina, isn't there?
Oh, what, Bruno, what?
Well, 6 months ago, Gina was the defendant for the trial prosecuted by the Reaper. A trial in which she was found not guilty, and yet, here she is still.
Oh, come on. You're not still thinking about that, are you? The Legend of the Reaper or whatever it's called?
Of course you don't have to worry, Odie.
If I didn't have to worry, well, there wouldn't be a whole lot of hole to you left.
It's like I told you before, ain't it? The Reaper's kind of old upstairs, so you know what it's like on the inside. I really ain't done nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong might be stretching it a point.
What about Mr. Natsume in Japan? He's perfectly fine, isn't he?
Well, that's true. Perhaps the Reaper is more discerning than I thought.
Exactly, so I ain't worried. I'm totally fine.
Making me worry, Gina!
Of course, it was all out of the world, it was. The Brady bloke pulled a bunch of levers on the machine, and suddenly it started blubbeting smoke. Then it just went boop! I ain't seen a better experiment ever yet.
Sorry?
You mean, you saw it, Jeannie? With your own eyes?
Yeah, of course. The boss is in charge here, ain't it? Or keeping everything running smooth, I mean.
The boss being Inspector Gregson, I suppose. That's gonna take some getting used to.
So all I have to say is I'm on duty. I can do whatever I want to. Get this. I was up in one of those them flying balloons when I was happening, watching it from above.
Oh, no.
You're so lucky, Jeannie. Maybe I should join Scotland Yard too.
Yeah, do it! Do it! You know how to put the boss in its place already, right, Iris? You oughta have no trouble at all.
And it's settled. Where do I start?
No, can't just join Scotland Yard, Iris!
We'll see. Anyway, what I don't understand, if the machine exploded so spectacularly, how can Professor Bunnybraid still be claiming his experiment was a success?
Oh, right. Well, it was a success. in a way.
It was? How could have that been? Surely after the whole machine blew up, no one can call the experiment a success.
It's like I said, it did sort of work. I mean, yeah, there was a load of smoke whooping and Big Bang. But where'd you think they found the victim's body, eh? In the crystal tower over there.
What? In the tower?
You see for yourself, can I? Up there above the scaffold.
Oh, where all the glass is broken, you mean?
Well, the crystal tower did explode.
Yeah.
Yeah, the caves won't the victims go to start with. Really did get a beam through in the air whatsoever. Led it all the way over there. So, you see? It did kind of work, didn't it?
What? I don't believe it.
I mean, I don't get the ins and outs of it, but anything's possible, right? With science. Oh, I'll tell you what. You can have it. It's a plan of the experiment they drew up at the yard.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go on. I had a 3 bobs off for you, so fair's fair.
Yes, I didn't actually give that to you, did I?
I love the subtle animation that she's a lot more happier.
Yeah, like she's smiling in almost all of them now, kind of deal.
Yeah.
It feels a little okay?
Yeah, like, I would say, like, honestly, for the first game, I think Gina was my favorite character of the cast from the original DGS, so, you know, really happy seeing her back. Something Inspector Gregson said before seemed a little strange.
What are you buying?
He had a different inflection than normal, so that means he's clearly up to something.
Yes, naughty old Grexy ran off after without explaining himself.
Alright, that. The boss said no one's allowed to investigate that weird machine who blew it up yesterday.
Well, that's not fair. We're representing the defendant.
In that case, could you at least tell us what you learned from your inspections? Investigations?
Nah, you're not getting it. We're not allowed to investigate either.
Why?
What did the boss call them again? The forensic investigation team, I think. Anyway, apart from the lot of them, no one's allowed to lay a finger on that scene. Been fun, ain't it?
So even Scotland Yard's own detectives can't investigate? Yes, I've never heard of something like that before.
I thought I could have a gander with the quiet though, but the boss caught me in it. You probably ought to be given an earful about that before Downdia did it. It's not bleeping fair.
I think you were giving him much of an earful back, if I remember.
Yeah, well, sometimes I think it's all them chips and whatnot that makes him. I'm so stubborn. You say something about it, Odie? Go on, see if you can get through them.
He's up on the platform above us, isn't he? Where the machine exploded, that is.
Are you guys talking about me?
Shut up, Grexy!
That's a lot.
But yeah, I guess since I can go dive into history, Gina is technically a Herlock Sholmes character. A Herlock.
Sherlock Holmes! It's contagious!
A Sherlock Holmes character, and she's actually considered one of the first inspectors in the novels. So this is technically her original role.
Okay. I feel like you're going to be in an English class and you're going to instinctively say Sherlock Holmes now at this point.
Edie, stop saying my DMs.
Oh, look, what's this? A ripped piece of cloth.
It's not exactly like any fabric I've seen before. It's very thick and stiff. It's extremely durable.
It's a canvas, I think. It's some sort of rubber backing. And the edge appears to be a bit shorted as well.
Maybe that means it had something to do with the explosion.
Let's make a note of it while Jeannie's mid-yawn.
You were yawning.
Gina was yawning.
Look, almost as if there was a fire here or something.
Yes, if you look closely, there's some sort of scattered ashes in Birth Ender too.
Well, I suppose there's a big explosion just above here. People probably wouldn't bat an eyelid to a small fire at this point. Would have been.
I'm not sure we English are quite laid back, Bruno. Ah, it looks as though somebody dropped something behind the trees just here.
Dropped or hid? What is this? Some kind of part of a machine that exploded?
Maybe. It could pass falling from the platform above in the blast, perhaps. What you got over there?
Oh! Nothing! I think I'll hang on to this, just in case. Alright, now we can head up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go up. Arrows. No, there's an arrow.
Oh, okay, there's an... Alright. Crystal Tower. It's certainly an apt name. It's built in the focal point of the exhibition, and it definitely is, being so tall and with all that glass. Can't imagine building something like this ever erected in Japan.
There's a lot of exposition inside the tower as well, apparently. Of course, there's an observation deck, but there's also an art gallery, a zoo, and a museum. But how do you require for 3 hours to the door of...
Well, at the moment, the glass chest failed the experiment may be the biggest draw.
And thanks to the accident, the whole tower is shut.
Suddenly, it's not the Crystal Tower anymore, but the Crystal Glass Shower. But tish.
Apparently everyone's taken to the skies now to look down at the disaster area from above instead. But there's a 3-hour queue to go up to the balloon now.
Londoners must be very patient people.
This is actually based off the Crystal Palace was an actual thing, but then it got burnt down. They wanted to make a Crystal Tower, but then they realized, wait, that can lead to a lot of problems, and didn't do it. That's why they covered the head up in the interconnect, whatever it's called. Dead, of course.
And yet they're calling the experiment a success?
What a woman's scaffold, therefore. The coppers, her lads, stepped up after the incident happened.
To get the body down, I think. Don't know, really.
Didn't you help erect the scaffold then?
Nah, lookout duty's more my thing. Wander around the exhibition and keeping a lookout for the fun stuff.
Mind Gregson doesn't hear you saying that, or I'll give you a boot. It's incredible though, isn't it? I mean, could the victim really have bridged that gap by some sort of invisible kinesis? Alright, so now to be able to move.
Nope.
Nope, still can't move up?
Okay, you can look at the balloons up there and then, yeah.
Oh, okay. I've been meaning to ask you for a while, but what are those funny round blobs floating in the sky?
Oh, they're flying balloons I've been talking about. I want to go up there for one so much.
I've read about situations like this in a magazine about some strange phenomena. Creatures from outer space coming around flying objects to attack Earth!
What?
I suppose inhabitants of other planets are bound to be interested in the Great Exhibition. This is it, Iris! It's happening!
It's not. Don't worry. I'll explain it all over for a nice cup of tea, Bruno.
Aliens! Aliens, Iris! I tell you, aliens!
Okay, you can actually go up by clicking on the actual stairwell.
Okay. That's a little weird for that one.
I just know that if you don't examine everything down here, you get locked up in.
This platform must have been set up for the experiment. I suppose it's very high up.
About 30 feet above the ground, apparently. That's what the policeman just spoke to said.
Don't really understand feet very well. We don't use them in Japan.
Oh yes, sorry. It's about 9 meters. But soon you have to be in London a year, Bruno. It's about time you get used to our measurements.
Yes, well, this thing is so tall and spectators in the front would have just been seeing a wall and nothing else.
I don't know why we Americans still use feet.
I don't know why at this point.
They probably thought they'd be secure the best spot to watch from, only to be disappointed.
There's a saying in Japan, the darkest spot is right under the lighthouse. I feel like it probably applies here. Let's see, anything else I can...
Cook the actual stairs? There we go.
Alright. These stairs obviously to a stage above. We should go up there and investigate the exact area where the experiment was being conducted.
Da da da.
So that's it, isn't it? The machine that blew up.
Oh, it must have been a magnificent explosion. I see my fair share.
You've seen things like this before, you mean?
Of course, hardly always doing experiments at the end with a bang. In fact, it's in Ho's words, explosions are the very essence of chemistry.
Ah, that might explain the smell of burning that frequently comes wafting upstairs.
One time, he made something that exploded with such force, it took the roof off the building. I wish you would have been there to see it, Runo.
It's hard to get too excited about that, given I now live in the roof.
Well, anyway, that's enough about that. It's time to investigate.
Oh, look, Inspector Gregson's over there. He seems to be deep in thought about something, while his eyes are on the machine carefully.
Really? He just looks confused to me.
Damn.
Ripped itself apart magnificently, didn't it?
Magnificently. And mercilessly.
So someone stands in the middle of the machine to be disassembled and then beamed through the air.
Yes, beamed. Not blasted. That's the point.
Yes, that part's critical, really. Is something like that even possible, though, Iris?
Oh, Bruno, I'm just a child. How should I know?
A child when it suits you, you mean?
From what I can tell, I think if we were to pull this up...
Don't touch that!
Okay,
Divide it.
I notice your louder ones, the mic isn't picking up on those for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I love it's like the auto adjustment or whatever on Discord.
Probably that.
That was practically its kinesis, the way you flew over there just now, Grexy.
I didn't mean to startle you, but I can't let you touch anything up here. Unless you
So
want.
sorry. You can have some of my latest special blend to make up for it.
I think you might have auto sensitivity on. I had the same issue.
Hey, hang on, let me just go to my settings.
Ah, wonderful. This stuff really is wonderful. Just like
I
old
meant to buy it off you.
This is...
Just like old times.
We're representing Mr. Hairbrain in court tomorrow, Inspector. So we should be allowed to examine the scene.
Ha! Listen, Sunshine, even I'm not allowed to touch anything up here. It's that blasted special disposition for scientific equipment act to blame. It's driving me potty!
Well, yes, that special dispensation, the professor mentioned it before too.
More red tapes are we. I don't know what the government thinks it's playing at sometimes.
But we're allowed to just look, aren't we?
Eh?
Surely that's all right, isn't it, Grexy? Grexy.
Of course, your ladyship. Anything you say, your ladyship. But please don't get your dainty hands dirty, will you?
Don't worry. We wouldn't dream of touching anything, would we, Runo?
She really knows how she gets what she wants.
Okay.
Alright. Considering how badly damaged everything is, Professor Hairbrain was lucky to escape unscathed, I'll say. We should have a good look around the machine while we can, I think.
touch anything, and I'll make sure I kill you before I get strung up myself. You hear?
I won't touch anything, I promise, so please, spare the thought of your digestion.
You touch it, you buy it.
Anyway, do you think this machine could actually disassemble people like the professor claims?
Yes. Looking totally incredulous. Give it a rest, Sunshine. If we were allowed to examine all this bleeding scrap metal, maybe we could answer that question. But we can't, can we?
Because of that annoying rule, you mean?
Exactly! The annoying, obstructive framing rules!
Oh, look at the base of the machine there.
Oh yes, there's a tool of some kind poking through the wire mesh.
It's a screwdriver, I think?
Oh, isn't it a lovely one? The hand of the shape is a very capital letter A.
Is it? Oh, yeah, you're right.
What's the matter with you? Don't touch anything, I said! Touch anything and I'll make sure I'll kill you before I get struck up myself, I said!
Yes, I understand, sorry. I only touched a teeny bit.
Weeny bit. But Greg, see, I'm very curious about that screwdriver. Really very, very curious.
And I bet you're very curious about me losing my job! Of course, your ladyship! You're so clever, your ladyship! Fancy spotting something like this! But I'm afraid I can't let you have it.
But Bruno found it first.
I assure you, I'll investigate it thoroughly.
And he's gone. I'm not with it.
That was very mean, I'm afraid. Inspector Gregson is going to make a very clumsy and embarrassing mistake in next month's installation now.
Poor Gregsy.
Ouch.
Get ready to get canceled, motherfucker!
Yo, talking about being petty.
Yeah. You can examine the background, I think. Oh!
Okay, it's that part up here. That amazing heart-shaped device is pointing towards the Crystal Tower. I suppose once people disassemble the machine, they'll shout out anything to wherever they're going.
I don't think it was supposed to shoot anything, Bruno. It was set up to beam people to the Crystal Tower, but they'll be reconstructed in its original form.
Well, I don't like the look of it. If it was amazing as it looks, the accident would have happened here in the first place, of course.
I suppose that's true, yes.
8 salary cutting noises for Gregson.
Oh no.
But nothing ever goes according to plan, does it? Balloons again? So those people carrying balloons dangling silently in the skies over London. I always thought the day would come when humans would discover how to fly. I never imagined it would involve them being suspended in colorful, floating, temporary handbells.
I'm sure it must feel amazing being up there among the clouds. Let's take a ride together, Bruno, please!
I'm being perfectly honest, I would like to try it. But without a cast iron guarantee the thing wouldn't plummet to the ground, I'm too scared.
Oh well, in that case, I should tell you what Harley said. It's physically impossible for a flying balloon to plummet to the ground, as long as it doesn't explode.
Yes, call me crazy, but I think the exploding part might play on my mind a little. Ferris wheel! What is that gigantic thing over there? It looks like an enormous water wheel.
Oh, that's a Ferris wheel. There'll be people riding inside those little cabins you can see.
Why?
Well, they're rotating nice and slowly, so it's a wonderful way to see the surrounding scenery.
Wait, it's turning? But it looks completely still.
Yes, and that's because it's turning so slowly. One complete revolve takes about half an hour.
If you weren't bad enough to go in one, it would be more like a fun whiz around that fast, don't you think?
I feel as though you might have just invented a new sort of ride there, Bruno.
Theme parks, motherfucker!
Let's go!
Yeah, man.
Becoming
I want to go
an
back.
Imagineer
Like,
identity today.
whenever we are out of COVID situation and all that, I really want to go to a theme park again, real bad. It's been years
Yo,
at this point.
I promised my friends I would take you to a theme park like in 2020.
Like, it might be either Cedar Point if I do locally, or, you know, maybe Disney or Orlando if I can save up the money. I don't know. I want to go to a theme park again at some
Money.
point.
With my salary, I can afford to take it to like King's Dominion.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But if I wanted to take them to Florida, oh man, I would just be like, all right, that requires all of us to put down some money.
Like, it would probably be Cedar Point, but I would like to go back to Disney or Orlando at some point. Also, you say King's Dominion threw me the hell back right there, because I used to live in Virginia, and I was, like, right by King's Dominion when I was, like, I think we were there till we were, like, 4 or something, so I remember King's Dominion a few times, sort of deal.
I'm just a half an hour away.
Oh my gosh, from Disney?
Yes.
Oh my god, okay. If I am ever going down there, I'll hit you up for that.
You should apply for the college. You should apply for the college intern program to work at Disney.
Jason, there's one problem with that.
I want to animate.
I'm kind of not in college anymore.
No. That was for Sophie. I know you
okay.
graduated. Also, Sophie, and
Back to the game.
There are all sorts of strange buildings here at the Great Exhibition Grounds, aren't there? Well, okay, yeah, there is also Hershey Park in Pennsylvania if we go for DMG at some point. You're right. I see to remember something similar being exhibited in Japan one time.
Oh, in your country, Bruno. I wish I can go and see it. I present a particular story seminar with the presence of one of Hurley's stories I've written especially. And see if I couldn't get Hurley into the jam against some Barbadian master ninjas.
You might not find many of those sorts of people around as you might think.
Oh, well, that's dull.
Oh, but I do know a prosecutor with a champage top knot I could introduce you to.
A Charna, really? Well, I do think I could have my picture taken with him, do you?
Assuming he's recovered from the trim Cosmo gave him a year ago. Yes. It's a little more than that now, Ryunosuke.
I think he converted himself into the Gucci religion. Okay, I think you need to talk to Gregson then.
Okay, well, okay, now he's back, alright. Using high voltage electricity to somehow disassemble a man's body and then beam him across the Crystal Tower. It's an extraordinary thing to attempt, especially in public.
true. It was by far the most unusual of the experiments planned for the exhibition, mind.
To be honest, I'm a bit surprised it wasn't allowed. Carrying out something so dangerous so many spectators present, I mean...
The government is doing everything it can to promote new science and technology at the moment. They're more worried about being ahead of the game than the odds by the public safety infringements. And they can be the first to develop some new technology and make Britain more powerful in the future, you see.
Yes, I suppose that's true in a way.
So the powers that be are placing a heavy emphasis on scientific rights at the moment.
What sort of rights?
They're making it so that any theories, make it so that any take two. They're making it so that any theories the brains have remained their legal property, as it were. Right through developing it into a practical idea and even going into production. Which is the infuriating to us allowed to touch this crime scene because a new highfalutin special dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act forbids it.
Ah, I see now.
The only people with permission to investigate here are from some brand new department at the yard. The Forensic Investigation Team is called. We've been relegated to keeping guard.
The Forensic Investigation Team.
Any old fool can see that this heap of scrap metal with a shit to begin with. But just because it says scientific equipment on the paperwork, we can't do a flaming thing with it.
Poor Grexy, it's very hent up, isn't he?
Remind me again, what's the new legal act mean we're not allowed to touch a scene here?
Are you having me at it, Sunshine? It's the Special Disposition for Scientific Equipment Act.
Yes, I think Hurley mentioned that recently, with a little twinkle in his eye as I remember.
I'm sure he did, your ladyship. Hey, waiting for the capture, let me go. I'm sure he did, your ladyship. I'm sure he did. Passed especially for this great exhibition as it was. All scientists had to do is present their ideas or inventions to some suites in the civil service. And if it gets rubber stamped, that's a guaranteed of rights to maintain the invention's confidentiality.
What does that mean?
Think about it. Think of all the world-changing new inventions on display every day at the exhibition. Although a good half of them are a load of cobbers, you ask me, put forward by shammers like yourself.
Thanks for that slight bit of racism.
Oh, I love how absurd some of the inventions here are. It's all so fun.
It might be fun to you, but a member of the force has to be present at every single demonstration. Can you imagine, eh? Hey, science! Hey, science, that's what I say!
Oh, I don't think so. It sounds like my dream job.
You soon think otherwise after spending a day guarding all these shambles bogus contraptions.
But if they're all bogus, how can anyone hope to demonstrate them? There'd be no point.
Yeah, well, there is a point, sadly.
Sorry?
Thanks to another of our government's bright ideas. If any theory or invention is deemed to show potential, the government hands out research grants.
The scientists get funding?
Exactly, and that's what they're all after. All these shammers coming from far and wide to clog up Hyde Park. And who has to keep them all safe, eh? Who has to smile politely and welcome them? Us coppers, that's who. So you can see why I say it now, can you? Hang science! Hang it!
Oh, maybe I can see your point.
Apparently Professor Hairbrain lives and works in Germany now conducting his research.
That's right. Came back to Britain, especially for the Great Exhibition, as I understand it. Probably after one of the government's research grants.
Actually, we learned something about the professor earlier today. About his time in further education. Turns out he was at the university with someone we both know. Lord Van Zeeks.
Eh? What's that? That's news to me! But if Van Zeeks man's a prosecution that has nothing accused, the professor's fate is...
Sealed? Because the Reaper will get him one way or another.
Blimey. That man's beyond me. I don't know what goes on in that head of his. Talking on Van Zeeks, this morning's paper read the story of him being attacked. Read that?
Oh yes, Mr. Reaper's completely fine. Nothing to worry about.
Yes, right. Glad to hear it. Still, the Reaper, huh? How long's that business gonna keep up, I wonder?
The victim of the case, the investor, Mr. Asmund. He was another one of the Reaper's victims, or so I heard.
Lord Baroque Van Zinks is a top-class prosecutor, but even he can't always push the right verdict through. Sometimes justice can't win.
Yes, I've heard the jurors being bribed and evidence being falsified, and that's how the notion of the Reaper's Bailey came out, isn't it?
Obviously, Scotland Yard suspected Van Zinks initially. We all assumed he was taking matters into his own hands if he failed to seal the deal in court.
Although the man himself denies the charge.
Well, we did a very thorough investigation, and the conclusion we reached is that Lord Van Zinks is in no way related to the deaths of those people outside the courtroom. There's no question in my mind. I stake my reputation on it, I would.
But if that's true, how do you explain it? All the defendants couldn't just coincidentally die if nobody killed them.
I know that, but can't explain it. It's a mystery after all, isn't it? That's the whole point of the Reaper.
Professor Hairbrain mentioned something else. He said that at university, Lord Van Zinks was a totally different person, easygoing and kind.
You what?
He said that it was after they both graduated that something happened to change the man. Do you have any idea what that was?
No clue.
Really?
Look, I got my hands full watching over this frustrating privacy. Why don't you go and make a nuisance of yourself elsewhere, eh? Right. Are you done here, Mr. Naruhodo?
Sorry?
Isn't it about time you were leaving? Or rather, it is about time you were leaving. That lot is here now.
The lot?
The forensic investigation team. They'll be giving me the heave-ho in a minute, too.
Oh dear, poor Grexy. Here, have another cup of my special blend to cheer you up.
I hit the spot. Yeah, yep. Every time it does.
Oh, at least I've seen the scene with my own eyes. Looks like as far as I'm gonna keep going with our investigations here, at least.
I've been thinking. Harley might know something that might
About what?
about Mr. Reaper.
What about what
Hey,
happened
ladies,
with Lord
can I
Van
have another
Zinks,
cup
you
of
mean?
tea?
Sounds like something very significant occurred after he graduated from the university. Something that completely changed his life. Maybe, but I have no idea where Mr. Sholmes is at the moment. He's in the middle of a big case, isn't he?
Here, this is what you need.
What's this? Some kind of entrance ticket? Madam to spells?
Two spells, I think.
Spells. What is this supposed to be to me?
You don't know it? It's the most popular attraction in London at the moment. It's very close to Baker Street, actually. We can go now if you like.
No. We don't have the time for visiting attractions today, Iris. We have a big trial tomorrow.
But that's where Harley is.
What? At the popular London attraction?
Yes.
How is it that you know where he is?
Harley told me, but he told me to keep it a secret from you, Bruno.
Madame Suppels. I don't see how it could be related to this case we're investigating here, but then stranger things have happened, and when they happen, Mr. Sholmes is usually at the heart of them. Alright, is this the last thing for this investigation?
Yes, it's
Oh, Alright,
This is the
okay.
last
Thank
investigation.
God!
Yeah. I think I really like this next section coming up. Murder!
Oh, okay, it's like, okay, so it's be like Madame, Stupet, Tersaid's, the wax museums kind of deal.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Wax Museum.
I've been to 2 of these before. I think one was in Michigan, and then I've been to the one in New York, as well. What's this place? Look at all these terrifying scenes. Why are all these people so still? Guillotines, ruthless murderers. I know I'll be dreaming about this tonight.
They're all wax models. They're amazing realistic, aren't they? What do you think, Bruno? Shocked?
Wax models? Ah! I read about the bodies and wax ones in the magazine about the strange phenomena. Depending on how corpses are kept after death, parts of them can be turned into wax, apparently. It's called, acupuncture.
Stop talking about creepy things like that, Bruno. You're scaring me. Anyway, acupuncture doesn't fall really.
Ah!
Okay, what now?
I just remembered something else I read in another magazine about strange phenomena. There was an old lady, maybe a witch, who used to pour melted wax over corpses and put them on display.
None of the exposition here are real. They're all entirely man-made replicas.
They can't be. Do you really expect me to believe that? Just look at them.
Oh.
There's no way anybody can make models of people this realistic. And they're all such gruesome scenes. How you doing over there, Schultz?
What's the issue?
Wait.
What is it?
Oh. No. I must be seeing things. Whoa, hold on. What? What's going on down here?
An arm.
Is that an arm?
It looks like an arm, doesn't it? Maybe one of the wax models had fallen over.
You don't think it'd be the work of one of the mass murderers here, don't you?
Bruno, stop scaring me.
Is it a wax arm or a real one?
Come on now, you're always pointing that finger of yours to Coat. Poke that arm now and see how it feels.
Objection! Okay, well that will remain a mystery for now. Wonder how much
Okay,
is...
before you examine Holmes. Okay.
Okay, examine this one.
If you want, yeah.
Is this some infamous murder?
Yes, called Jane's the Ripper. All their victims were young women.
I knew it! You could tell by how she's holding the knife. Sure, a sign of a murderer.
Well, yes.
Ah!
Well, what's the matter, Bruno?
I've worked it out. I know what she's doing. She's trying to fill that bathtub with blood so she can soak her victim's gore.
Not according to the information about the exhibit on the little board here. It doesn't mention anything about a bathtub.
Really?
Sorry, I don't think the significance.
Still think it has to be there for a reason.
Okay, before you. Okay.
That big heavy curtain is a prominent position, isn't it? I've had a nasty feeling it's gonna be something truly terrifying behind it.
Oh yes, that's the famous Tinspell Special exhibit. It depicts one of England's most notorious killers. Do you want to pay the extra fee to have a look?
Pay more money to be even more terrified? Oh, let me think about that for a minute.
It was only a suggestion.
This one? These models are so well made, I can't tell what's waxwork and what's a real human.
Or maybe all the exhibits are real people. And when it's closing time, all the visitors have gone home and they suddenly start moving about.
Just thinking about it makes me wish it was closing time already. I was on my way home. Alright, now.
Look, no, look to your left. Look, no, go back. No, back to Shom's stuff. Notice something on your left. Right.
Oh.
Oh, that's a funny place for a little ladder. What is it? Is something wrong?
I feel like this is something that will carry down for generations after this point. No, it's just that in Japanese we have a totally different word for ladder that folds in half like that.
We do in England too, you know. It's a step ladder, or just steps. So be careful of making assumptions about other cultures, Runo. That's how wars are started.
Yes! Wars are started over ladders and step ladders. I didn't realize step ladders were a national point of contention, but a rare makes an absolute point. Let's get it. This is an example of Western Tsukiri.
I don't know what that is.
You know, when unscrupulous samurai randomly attacks a passer by the Tessa's sword.
I still don't know. No. But actually, a waxwork samurai would probably be hugely popular. Could you model it too? Don't you think, Runo? Do oh god. Do that Sigurio thing you mentioned.
Well, I do have a sword, but I have no intention testing how sharp it is on a human suspect. For now, at least. Alright, let's talk to him now. It's the great detective Sherlock Holmes! Mr. Sholmes has his own wax figure here, really?
Well, he is the world famous after all.
It's uncanny resemble, isn't it? Makes it like skin crawl looking at it.
I know! But look, Runo, you can kick this Hurley!
Oh no! Can't go around kicking Cyrus. Wait. It just moved, I'm sure, and not just a little bit either.
Iris, you little shit.
Really? Did it?
Look closely. There are beads of sweat on his face of this waxwork model. Shall we move on, Iris? Over there. Look, there's a great murder scene to enjoy. Much more appealing.
My dear fellow, I take exception to your recalling in such a manner, as if you've seen something very truly abhorrent.
Mr. Sholmes! I knew it!
Iris, what possessed you? I strictly forbade you from divulging my temporary waxwork secret to Mr. Naruhodo!
Temporary waxwork? What do you mean?
And that cake! Could you not have access on a little more restraint? You winked at me!
But Bruno has something you need to ask you.
Good question.
And I thought you'd probably be getting bored here too. So here we are.
Well, I can't deny that your timing was impeccable. A mere 2 minutes more being stationary like that. And my great brain upon which all my success has been built would have turned to wax.
Thank goodness we arrived in time.
Indeed, in many ways, the pair of you just saved the world from an unimaginable loss.
Oh, Harley, you do like to talk nonsense, don't you?
He knows something, it's true, about Lord Van Zeeks and what happened in the past to change him.
Now that you're here, let's take our time. How can I be of assistance? For your luck, I'm certainly quite taken with the idea of conversing.
Oh, well, actually, I'm in quite of a hurry.
And if my eyes don't deceive me, I believe something is afoot within the walls of this very museum. A most fascinating case, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
Moreover, I have a strong suspicion that it is related to the matter about which you come to me now.
But how could it be?
We shall speak again presently, my dear fellow. But for now, I must return to my work.
What? Back to being a temporary waxwork exhibit?
Well, what is it you like to ask me then?
Actually, it's about Lord Van Zeeks.
Ah, our friend Mr. Reaper. How did you find him? Well, I trust.
And so I filmed Mr. Sholmes about everything I had learned. About Lord Van Zeeks, about the Professor Hairbrain, and about the strange coincidence that they said the university together. So I wondered what happened to make Lord Van Zeeks such a different person.
I was sure that you know, Harley.
You said there was something going on here in this exhibit hall before, that something was afoot. Now you believe there was something related to what I wanted to ask you about. Mr. Sholmes? You suddenly clammed up.
Well, it seems we've reached it.
Greetings. Oh god, here we go.
Oh.
There she is!
Oh, hello? Where did she appear from? What's she wearing? Could she look more mysterious?
The character that really needs more fan art.
Alright.
I hope you're appreciating my museum.
Sorry, have we... Mr.
Yes,
Sholmes,
French.
do you know that... Not again!
My apologies. I am Esmeralda Timspell. This is my museum of waxwork.
You're the Madame Sue Spells?
Bishop. Although only 26 years young, I might add.
Is that significant somehow?
I am Madam in name only. He has a certain Gina Lestrade.
Right.
Firstly, I must apologize for my waxworks, or rather, one waxworks in particular.
That'll be Mr. Sholmes then.
I was led to believe that he was a great detective, but he seems unable to settle. Next time you move from your designated expedition, we'll be toiled and troubled. You sound deadly serious.
That's the problem! How am I supposed to ask Mr. Sholmes about Lord Van Zeeks now?
Let's not forget what Hurley said before. About something being afoot. Right here in the museum, I mean.
Yes, I know, but...
I'm so curious. I want to know what's happening here.
Haven't got enough on our plate already?
Oh no, Roxas, she's really popular.
Like, yeah, I like the design a lot. The design's really cool.
It's really
Like, I saw her for the first time, and I was like, I was like, oh, you're pretty. Oh, the internet's already. Oh, the internet is. Oh man, one day if this game gets officially translated, Oh, the internet's gonna have a field day with you.
I can already see all my Twitter artists that I follow that are doing DGS stuff and getting to 2, and getting to her, and then having ideas.
Oh, yes.
Did you make all these waxworks, Madame Despes?
I did. I am the 3rd generation wax optician in a note.
I don't know how to do a French accent, goddamn.
Oh no, I've seen that a little bit in chat, like an older Himiko kind of deal, but...
Meh. It's always the witches.
Every time, if they have a hat, they're...
I'm the 3rd generation of wax optician, you know. Gosh! It was my grandmother who began the tradition in my family. Her fortunes were cheered, living through the turbulent time of the French Revolution as she did. There was that, when she acquired the savior Fotar that leads to the astonishing lifelikeness. All these wackos really do as though they're alive. In fact, they're more alive than Hurley. What you see exhibit here represents the most atrocious of London's criminals past. All the wax were created in presence of the real people, which they are modeled. In the hours immediate following the executions, that is the secret to the extraordinary life like this.
That sounds terrifying.
All walks of life have similar challenges, I'm sure. To carry out one's trade par excellence, one must go to extraordinary lengths. My exhibition is a reflection of society. I create only which the public wishes to see.
Ugh. Why couldn't the public have wished to see something less horrifying?
Do not fear.
Sorry?
This room is the only one with the museum with such masculine themes. I do hope you explore. There's a model of famous singers, actors, politicians. Something for every taste, I hope.
It was Iris who dragged me straight here, come to think of it.
Sorry, perhaps I should have eased you into things.
What's the situation with that?
My temporary wax model. He approached some days ago, you see, with a business proposal.
Oh, what's our proposal?
My dear madame, what these spies exhibits need is the addition of a world-famous great detective.
Words of that effect.
Ah.
Naturally, I am well aware Mr. Shaw is widely known in London as a talented detective.
It's great detective, actually. He's very specific about it.
Yes, the creme de la creme, so I was keen to come to some arrangement with him, of course. But sadly, we were unable to agree terms.
Let me guess, someone wanted to charge an exorbitant price for his services?
For a mere £500, I will dive into your culture of wax this very moment.
Words of that effect.
Mr. Sholmes might have overdone it slightly with the sales pitch.
Regrettably, the museum has a shortage of funds in that moment due to unforeseen circumstances.
So we came to a current arrangement instead.
Charlie doesn't really need to do what he's doing, though, does he?
I would think not, but he's very insistent.
I have a fit problem that must be resolved by the morning.
Or words to that effect.
It's the pawnbrokers, that's what it is. He must have something to redeem.
Is that counseling detective work not going to do so well?
Yeah, if you talked to Jones earlier, he said, like, I'm poor. I need to pay rent. Please, I'll accept anything.
What, Iris's book's not getting it enough at this point, or what?
be fair, she probably needs to wait for the monthly charge.
True, yeah.
She hasn't got her paycheck yet.
I wonder, could I ask you something?
We sure?
Oh wait, sure. Yeah, no, like, the spell says she's 26, how? Hold on, let me check. I think it actually says in our...
people.
Yeah, how old is, Holmes? 34, so, about an 8-year gap on that. I'm just curious, is anything going on in the museum at the moment? Some kind of incident, perhaps?
Whoever suggests such a thing to you?
Oh, well, it was... your temporary waxwork over there who mentioned to me a little... he disappeared!
A wax model is a work of art. That's some tawdry object for trade.
There you are!
Leaving the exposition again when you should be working?
Okay, hang on.
Do you wish to be melted down?
My dear madam, to spell, save your reprimands. There are more pressing concerns. The West can wait. It's our ideas about your current problems we must throw into the melting pot instead.
Huh?
Personally, I would advise you not to involve the police.
Why ever not?
She's turning white as a sheet.
Because you have at your disposal a great detective whose services you may employ for a mere 50 shillings. So please be aware that I insist upon payment in advance.
Very well. Let us see if you're the great detective is able to live up with his name, shall we?
Before I engage in my analytical process, I must ask you to clarify something.
Oh, this is gonna be a fun one, I can tell.
What, pray, is behind the curtain?
That is the Tin Spell Special Exhibit. There's an extra charge to see it.
Ah, the special exhibit in the House of Horus. It must have been a special killer then, I presume. Would you be so kind as to draw back the curtain, I wonder?
I don't know! There's nothing amiss behind there.
Nothing amiss, madam. Madame. What about the R protruding ominously from under the curtain? I strongly encourage you to allow me to see what life be beyond before the situation worsens.
Yes, very well. I will drag back the curtains, but only a scousard.
I must confess, I peeked behind the curtain earlier. To spell a special exhibit is a very bleak graveyard scene indeed. And yet somewhat surprisingly, the waxwork killer one would expect is nowhere to be seen. What does strike one, however?
What?
As the poorly gentleman lie peacefully on his back on the floor. By the way, you recognize that model?
Yeah, that's why I'm like, Well, then perhaps, Mr. Schultz, that man on the floor is the ruthless killer himself!
I'm afraid not, my dear fellow. It's a perfectly ordinary London gentleman. Not even a waxwork, in fact.
What?
As skillfully made as these waxworks are, they are always distinguishable from real humans. So, allow me to present my two conclusions. The first is that a sizable business transaction has been taking place in this special exhibit.
What? Why would you say that?
And the second is that the aforementioned transaction is linked to a serious crime.
She looked as pale as a candle wax.
I don't understand.
So, Madam Tuspel, as you've agreed to my fee, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing the famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work.
Alright, here we go. This one's gonna have a fun scene for it, I can already tell.
By the way, real quick, I'd like to point out it's 9:45.
Yeah.
And we're still in the investigation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to point that out. To begin with, we must ask ourselves what exactly is afoot here in this museum. The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so helpfully from your bag. In my estimation, some 200 pounds.
That is my own money.
So what does this large sum of money reveal? Not as much as the involuntary glance that you cast, it would seem, Madam Tuspel. Yes, the answer lies where your eyes now fall. The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by their public notice. Waxwork for sale. Your business has had hard times, it would seem. In short, you sold the infamous killer, the centerpiece of your special exhibit, for the sum of 200 pounds.
No!
Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. We're so portly gentlemen stretched out so peacefully on the floor. It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you.
I like this buzz.
Unfortunately, madame, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the 200 pounds! It would appear that you twisted this gentleman around your little finger most efficiently.
What are you suggesting?
He rashly agreed to purchase the waxwork for the sum of 200 pounds. Only when he came to hand the money over did it occur to him what an extortionate amount he was paying. But the money was no longer in his hands. As a result, the scene we see before us, he collapsed in shock.
He be planking.
Yes, the killer in the special exhibit fetched a killer price. We can only pray that gentleman's dreams are not played with it.
He's screaming again.
Waxwork location.
The question that arises then is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Let's consider that problem for a moment.
You cannot possibly.
What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing over there. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his neckerchief. Since it is worn by policemen as a secret sign to fellow members of the force that a crime is being perpetrated. Yes, this young man is an undercover policeman, certainly investigating this museum. I know him well, in fact. It's Sergeant John Clay.
What are you talking about?
The man is quite a celebrity. He received triple accolades at last year's policing awards. Yes, it's a real thing. Don't question me.
But
Next, we turn our attention to the young man sat before him with the particularly unsettling visage. I've been watching closely as he hasn't moved a muscle, almost in fact, as if he were a waxwork.
but you.
Your reaction only confirms my suspicions, madame. I noticed it at once, of course. Observe! The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious price tag. First, through pence. A tragically low price, you must say. So perhaps the going rate for an aging waxworks riddled with cracks. And yet you sold it to the portly gentleman for an exorbitant 200 pounds. The sort of plucky behavior that's sure to attract the attention of Scotland Yard. Isn't that so, madame?
I do not. Okay.
Yes, the waxwork you stole has already been seized by the police and remains in their custody as we speak. The old man must be reunited with his grave at the special exhibit. It's not a moment too soon. This concludes Herlock Show's great deductions on this horrifying puzzle.
Ma'am, sir.
To correct this man.
Okay, get in.
I see I stunned you all into silence.
You have, Harley. You have. And you obviously upset the young lady with the proceedings. Her cauldron looks awfully hot.
If I could just bring up one point, Mr. Sholmes.
The notorious Navajo at one point. I'm all ears, my dear fellow.
According to your deduction, then, the special exhibit featured this old policeman, so that would mean he's a particularly ruthless murderer, wouldn't it?
The killer policeman, Automobile.
Sorry?
It was a mysterious series of murders that rattled the capital only last year. The police rushed to the scene every time, only to find the culprit disappeared into the aether.
And it turned out the culprit was policeman himself, a senior officer named Automobile.
So you mean that's the sinister-looking old man that's supposed to be?
Indeed, it is a particularly grim face, is it not? Unforgettable, in fact. Yes, I remembered that. I remembered that oldest cousin is all too much.
But is 200 pounds a lot of money for a wax model?
It would be enough to afford one of the. Excuse me. It would be enough to afford one of the latest Steve C. That puts things in perspective.
So it's quite a lot then.
Is there anything else you wish to add? Before I melt you down.
That bubbling wax is looking more and more ominous.
The smell of all the melted wax is starting to worry me.
Mr. Sholmes did more or less accuse her to her face, so I think I might need to call for your assistance here, Iris, if that's alright. To make some minor corrections to the Great Detective's great deductions.
Oh, of course, it's alright. We'll soon set things straight.
Well, let's get started then, shall we? Before Madame Dispels vents her anger.
Just what I was waiting to hear, my dear fellow. So, Madame Dispel, in accordance with our agreement, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work.
Alrighty. She definitely looked in that direction, it's true.
And I'm not sure she'd sell any of her waxworks, even for 200 pounds.
Also, your outfit is now brown. It's purple in the game.
Lighting.
Oh?
She must pour her heart and soul into making them, don't you think? Over and above the wax. If it were me, I wouldn't sell them for anything.
For that much money, I would, but it sounds like a lot to be a bad person. Well, anyway, I wonder if 200 pounds could get some other significance.
Let's follow the purchase glance again, and see if there's anything else that could explain it.
Take that!
Oh, no, I gotta go to the laser. Right. It's a 200 pounds up there, okay?
Mr. Naruhodo, that was just embarrassing.
Says the man that just did this entire thing right now.
What's that note doing pinned down the wall
At least
there?
I'm honest about it. You were just
Let's
embarrassingly
see.
wrong.
Dear Malice
Cringe.
Spells, we've taken the prisoner from this room. The price for a safe return is 200 pounds. Have the money ready by noon, October 23rd.
What?
This is just like the sort of thing left behind when someone's kidnapped.
Yes, a ransom note.
Exactly.
Take that!
Oh, hold up. I gotta just deactivate and reactivate the Elgato real fast because I noticed the sound desynced for a little bit. Happens when it's straight for this song. Alright. The significance behind the 200 pounds is revealed by that ransom note. Quite. Oh, sorry.
Quite so. If you must congratulate these criminals on their inventiveness abducting a waxwork. 200 pounds is no small ransom fee, and you clearly intend to pay it.
The model in question has special importance, so I put the money together as to have.
In summary, then, the 200 pounds you have in your handbag is ransom money. Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you.
Yeah, and then... This... So if the waxwork was kidnapped, what would that leave in terms of who this man is?
You could just ask me when he comes around.
I think the point of this exercise is to understand the beauty of the deduction process, Iris.
Yes, you're right. Harley's trying so hard, we mustn't let him down.
Well, there's a little doubt he suffered shock. That much seems clear, but in this case, what's Madame Spell's trying to hide? Let's have a closer look around. Alright, Madame Spell has very long hair, doesn't she?
Yes, but you couldn't tell looking at her from the front.
You know, it looks rather like a whip, don't you think? Sort of whip that could have floored a gentleman with a single crack.
That seems a little far-fetched even for you, Runo. This is just Madame Tinspell's right hand, isn't it?
Yes, it must be. Clearly at the left hand and all.
Oh, but wait a minute. This left hand as well, look.
Don't say just creepy things, Iris, please!
And it seems very too. In fact, it's really hard.
You mean it's made of wax?
Take that!
What dealt the man a shocking blow was, of course, the waxwork hand.
Indeed, with a solid waxwork limb, one could deliver a very substantial blow.
How could you?
The hand protruding from the bottom of your cape. It ought to be a right hand, but on closer inspection reveals it's in fact a left hand.
And so masculine as well. In other words, it does not belong to you, madame. It is the head of a waxwork model.
The camera work is so much better in these this time.
Yeah. Some of the visitors in my museum can be troublesome. They meddle with the exposition and cause damage.
So you mean that arm?
Yes, this gentleman saw fit to try to remove it as a souvenir.
No small keepsake.
There's a lot to unpack in this image right here. Like talking a whole branch of a cherry tree when you go to view the blossoms.
I'm afraid I have to teach the man a lesson.
You confronted the man and tried to take the arm back.
And the result? The scene we see before us. He was knocked unconscious. Wait, are his eyes open?
No. Oh. I think.
It's hard to
Oh, yeah,
say.
it is, I think.
Yeah, I think his eyes are open.
Oops.
What's in there now?
Yeah. A point we may need. A point we need to revisit later. But for the time being, we have our conclusion. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit has been kidnapped. We can talk about your violence later, but for now. The question that arises then is what has become of the waxwork?
This man.
According to Mr. Sholmes, the yellow neckerchief is a sign to policemen that some crime is underway.
A way of communicating to his colleagues without revealing his identity, yes? It's a secret that's closely guarded by Scotland Yard.
That Mr. Sholmes doesn't hesitate to give away.
Well, uncovering secrets is any true detective's nature, of course.
Right. Anyway, judging from Madame de Spell's reaction to Mr. Sholmes' deductions, I think perhaps we may have not identified this man quite correctly. What the? This man has a stump sticking out of his shoulder where his arm should be!
Well, that's half to 10.
Right, this isn't a real person at all.
His entire arm has been ripped off from the shoulder down.
His arm's been... Of course, that ties in what we just found out!
Take that!
Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we only need to observe his shoulder stub.
No such boldness humans walk to serve. Of that, I can assure you. In other words, the man sitting here, the young Sergeant John Clay, is in fact defying all odds, a waxwork model.
I seem to remember you concluded it was a real person in the first place, Mr. Sholmes.
Shut up.
He has become quite a celebrity in London with the winners no less of 3 Palestine Awards last year. I simply had to make a model of the man.
Naturally. What other explanation could there be?
And with the detective's arm being pulled off by the man on the floor in this special exhibit, wasn't it?
Next we turn our attention to
And that's the price of the scarf. Yeah, I know. Killer policeman, Mr. Otto, was he well known?
It was all over the papers last year, but I can't say I know what he looks like. It's a very low price though. 4 isn't much money.
Only enough for you measly hours of gas and Mr. Gyarados' delightful lodging to come back. So this special killer was taken from a special exhibit, isn't it? The waxwork was somebody stolen from the museum and tied for ransom for 200 pounds. Is this crusty policeman Ottermole really?
Perhaps we should get a good look around again and see if there's another idea that crops up.
3 pence? It's a far cry from 200 pounds, isn't it?
For 4 you could buy it and put it on display in no room, Runo.
I think I'd rather not go to sleep being watched by an old man, if that's alright by you.
The price tag does stand out, does it? I mean, you couldn't even buy a helmet with a face of that much money. I don't think.
I wonder what the price tag's really for, then. Okay, so I really have to examine the scarf as well. Oh. Look at this! The old man's tapping his foot like crazy!
He seems to be fast asleep, though.
He's not tapping his foot consistently, then? So you mean...
It must be a twitch.
Never mind that! The point is the waxworks don't tap their feet!
Or a twitch.
And perhaps look at his arm, too. We've seen a scarf like that somewhere before, haven't we?
Take that!
The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is obviously the twitch. Even the most realistic waxworks do not
Even
exhibit
the
a
most
twitch.
realistic
sorry.
waxworks do not exhibit. Excuse me. Perhaps some people don't know how to read.
Alright, well, Mr. Sholmes, go.
In other words, this splendid old man is in fact a genuine member of Scotland Yard.
Slight shift in your choice of adjectives, then.
And there you have it. Well, Madam Two-Spell?
Well, what? What it means to contact the police and demand that someone comes in the first place?
He clearly is fatigued. He sounds asleep.
That's Sophie.
Oh, sorry. But then, what's his price tag showing a price of 3 pence?
No doubt the price. No doubt the price tag of the muffler, which the old barely purchased recently at the local market. And I presume you observed the scarf tied around his arm. Does that not strike you, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes, the secret sign used by detectives to show some criminal activity has recently underway.
Of course, because, as you know, there has to be such criminal activity happening here. As you deduced from the very beginning, Detective.
So, it perceived that we finally arrived at the truth.
The waxwork was the specially ruthless killer from the exhibit has been kidnapped.
As Scotland Yard are already investigating. But the model's whereabouts remain a mystery. This concludes her last show's great deduction of this horrifying puzzle. Well, by the end of this, what did we learn? That this mystery is still a mystery!
Yeah.
All sorts of people visit my museum here, men and women, young and old. Sometimes they drop in just for a short time on their way back from the pub. I welcome them all.
But if anyone tries to damage my exhibits, I do not take them lightly. Ma'am? Uh-oh.
Oh,
Ah!
did score go down?
Sophie?
Are you there?
Ah! Okay.
Okay, alright.
She was just standing there, menacingly.
You're great to touch with even more chanting that's led to believe.
It was a pleasure, my dear madame. I'm gratified that you enjoyed the spectacle. And as for your rough customer, I've no doubt he'll regain confidence shortly and return home. What concerns me more is the waxwork for the special display. If it was indeed genuinely abducted.
Yes, tragically, it was.
Then I would never ask you to recount to us the events surrounding the stolen waxwork. In as much detail as possible, if you please.
Very well. But after I've told you what I know, I must insist that you return to your work.
The talents of a great detective could be put to better use, I feel, but as you wish.
Tell us more about the stolen waxwork, please.
It was some days ago now, when I came here one morning. I immediately noticed the waxwork was missing from the special exhibit here. It was your most prominent display, so that's why the curtains were closed. And I found a ransom note in this place.
The culprit must have broke in during the night and taken it then.
Oh god.
She's fading. She's fading. There we go.
Let me just refresh it just in case. Kind of deal. Alright, there we go.
So this waxwork was stolen? It was a model of some horrible criminal, I suppose. Of a particular horrible criminal, in fact. The killer who left a more profound scar on society than any other. I would say, the Professor.
Not a name I've heard of.
So, Mr. Naruhodo, it seems the circle is complete.
Sorry?
The Professor case happened about the time when I was born, didn't I?
Indeed it did, Iris. 10 years ago, a series of murders that rocked the capital.
10 years ago?
Yes, at exactly the time that Baroque Van Zieg's graduated from university, in fact.
What? Surely she's not saying...
So the big event that changed Mr. Reaper's life.
As you surmised, it was the Professor case.
Who was this professor then?
It was a series of gruesome murders that had London gripped in terror a decade ago. After 5 victims were killed, the man was arrested and put to death.
And now he's immortalized here in wax for all Londoners to admire and enjoy. Though, of course, he happens to be absent at present, on account of the abduction.
I don't understand. How's this all related to Lord Von Zieks?
You must first understand, my dear fellow, why it is that the Professor earned such infamy. It was due to the victims he chose, some of Whitewall's finest.
What do you mean, Harley?
Those murdered by the Professor were some of the highest members of the British aristocracy, members of nobility, even royalty. It's the shockwave through the country's administration.
Members of the... wait, of course! What Professor Hairbrace said! Lord Von Zieks' family with noble blood!
Oh gosh!
It It was the 5th victim that led to the professor's arrest. The last of the killer's prey was a young noble by the name of Clint Van Zeeks.
No! I believe it, Van Zeeks!
I'm sure you can piece together the rest for yourself. In the wake of his older brother's murder, the young Baroque pursued a career as a prosecutor, and eventually became the Reaper we know today.
I had no idea Lord Van Zeeks was such a tragic past.
Well, I'm afraid that's all I can say on the matter, for the time being at least. After all, I have work to do. As a waxwork exhibit.
I'm afraid I shall have to excuse myself, farewell.
Oh, yes, of course. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Well, none of the predicted scenarios I've been analyzing involved you coming to visit me here. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, we're almost done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cause now I started feeling it in my throat. It's been a long Sophie's pain is my pleasure. It's been too long. It's been too long. It really has. I'm delighted to see you, Baroque.
It's been 10 years, and here we are, meeting in person of all places.
I can't forgive myself for what happened to Miss Osmond. I just can't. I still can't believe it could happen.
Tomorrow, the court will decide.
Yes. I have a young Eastern man acting for my defense. He seems reliable enough, though. It was an accident, a terrible accident. He assures me he can prove it.
I must warn you.
Oh, I know. I heard already. You're gonna be prosecuting, aren't you?
Yes.
Since I've returned to England, I've heard lots of stories. Baroque, are you really...
What?
Never mind. I know that you have my best interest at heart.
My friend is on trial. I wouldn't entrust it to anyone else.
Of course, I fully understand. Thank you, Baroque.
Until tomorrow, then. I'll see you in court.
Until tomorrow, friend.
Alright. Whew! Okay, that investigation went on longer than I thought it would. I'm sorry about that.
Welcome to case 3, Pat.
Oh, boy.
We might need to start, if we want to get this done in like 5 sessions, we might need to start earlier.
Yeah, one of these, you'll have to tell me, like, which sessions we'll have to start earlier, but, yeah, ugh. Okay.
Wait, I'm gonna be honest. I forgot how long the first investigation lasted.
Me too.
Yeah, so might want to look up and just like let me know if we need to start like next trial earlier or something like that, or do you think that will be like the normal time? For that one.
Hang on, before we end stream, let me just
look it up.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, I am definitely interested to see where this one's going to go at this point. So.
Yeah, it's really long, but they had to like dunk you like a lot of important information.
Yeah.
Through these. Like,
So,
set up the new status quo. We're finally learning about Van Seeks after, like, who knows how many cases.
after this is our 7th, no wait, hold on, 6, 7, 8th case of this duology at this point. I'm finally learning about him.
So it's clearly you can see the pieces for what might be to come for later.
Yeah, so we'll see on that. Though for tomorrow, I need to confirm this with Tevi, but since his schedule is a little different now, we're thinking that we're moving some nights to Saturdays at this point, since he's able to actually do that day. So we'll just make it so Sunday is our other DGS day for the week at this point. Like,
Alright.
But yeah, so just keep an eye out on
okay. So, so the trial, the upcoming, from what I see, the upcoming trial, you can start at 7 and finish. Finish.
All right.
After this trial, you need to start early.
Okay. We are thinking maybe for next week that we do 3 streams for this one, just because of how big this trial is. Kind of deal. So
because looking at this, it looks like the first trial. Wait, here you go. Yeah, it looks like the first trial is No, wait, wait, hang on. I got this. I swear I got this. Yeah, it looks like it's about like 85 minutes.
okay.
So
yeah, about a little about an hour and a half ish kind of deal.
I also have to refresh myself on what are the answers, because I gotta admit the next half of that. Oh.
Like, just trying to go back to.
But yeah, the next half of this trial, I got stumped a few times.
But yeah, after that, the investigation. Start early.
Yeah.
and start early, and then after that. So seriously, start early for both sessions.
Then I'll turn these on for next session at this point, so that we are all in line.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Though I have no idea when we're gonna see Susanoo again at this point. I don't know, but hopefully soon. But
I think we can keep these on for like two sessions.
All right, so, yeah, for. Basically until trial 2 for this one, you think? Okay. Alright, sounds good. Alright, so yeah, that is going to be it for tonight. Have a good one. Keep an eye on the Discord for whether some night's going to be tomorrow or Sunday. Don't know yet, depends on Tevi's response. And yeah, have a good night, everybody.
Bye!